at the stage na we're assessing all the permitting processes in the different agencies para alam na nila kung ano yung kailangan nila hingin once there's an application. So having said that, we are trying to finish na rin lahat na capacity building now. To that end, we are talking now we have MOA now with CHED and TESDA for skills mapping. Pag iladerize nyo din yung skills, ilan ba yung, we mapped it, how many operators do we need, how many construction, how many scientists do we need. So, and also on the part of the other agencies. So, medyo, it's the preparation stage for us to start now with the, hopefully with the pre-development na talaga, Mr.
But
Chair.
everything, Secretary, is contingent on PhilAtom.
Yes, Mr.
Diba?
Chair.
How fast can we set up PhilAtom?
Currently, Mr. Chair, they are doing the IRR for the PhilAtom law.
This is spearheaded by DOST?
This is DOST, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
right.
Together with, of course, the FDA, mga ganun.
Okay. Yeah.
Ang PhilAtom, we have, on the part of NEPIAC, for PhilAtom, we have contracted a technical assistance in the evaluation of preparation of PhilAtom. And PhilAtom is still lacking on the personnel, equipment, probably capital outlay for them to have their own office. Pero currently, there is also in the transitory, Mr. Chair, na pwede naman yun yung galing sa FDA or I'm not sure in DOST part for PNRI, ang people and the budget that can be transferred to that dapat pupunta sa PhilAtom. But as of now, I don't think it's sufficient enough for them to really be in full force. Kailangan talaga nila ng fresh budget to be operational.
Without PhilAtom, mahirap, walang pag-a-applyan ng license. No?
Yes.
So it's really, everything's contingent on,
Yes, Mr.
on
Chair.
PhilAtom. But during the budget deliberation of DOST, hindi naman nila, I don't recall DOST mentioning PhilAtom and its creation. No? So that's why I'm asking, because again, no, chicken or the egg, kung walang PhilAtom, walang pag-a-applyan ng license. No? But when during the budget deliberation of DOST, hindi naman nila, I don't recall DOST requesting for a separate item or a separate budget for PhilAtom.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure how they will handle establishing PhilAtom. PhilAtom technically is under the Office of the President,
Yes.
and then you get all the offices of the different agencies. No? PNRI by itself is already a regulatory commission. You just have to extract that function and people as well para ma-establish yung commission. I think that might be a good start already for them, Mr. Chair. Hopefully it comes with a budget that's allocated to PNRI, but that's for DOST to determine, Mr. Chair.
Correct. Well, I'm just flagging the department because if the target, and I know in the PEP meron na tayong, for the first time, may nuclear kasama na siya sa energy mix. No? So in other words, may timetable na sinusundan siya. So I'm just flagging the department on that matter. And also another matter is I saw lumabas yung Department Circular 2025-10-0019 and this is to ensure a ready market for available capacities for Pioneer NPP nuclear power plant. I know the intention, no, for exempting nuclear power plant to CSP, no? Para meron na siyang assured market kasi ang laki, no? We're talking about ano bang pinakamaliit na nuclear power plant? $10 billion in terms of construction
Basically
cost.
$10 billion.
Yeah, $10 billion siya, more or less. So sino namang maglalagay ng $10 billion nang walang market, no? Wala kang offtake, no? So I know the intention, but I'm also concerned with our least cost principle, diba? So we don't have to discuss that in length ngayon, but I'm just putting that on the table to the department, and later on we can have a longer discussion on that, because anong interplay ngayon ng least cost versus nuclear power plant, no? And from a consumer point of view, lalo na sa ERC, how are we assuring our consumers na si nuclear power plant is laging least cost, no? So you might want to have a quick response, no?
Quick lang, sir. That's why it's an interagency, all interagency in the sense that kasama namin yung ERC. It's to assess how do we set the tariff for nuclear. Buti na lang katabi ko si Nino. It needs a longer contract, Mr. Chair, not just a 20-year or 10-year. So the useful life in France, in fact, it's 70 years yung sa kanila. Some countries give 50. So that's a major consideration in determining what's the cost of nuclear for us. Otherwise, it will be expensive kung shorter siya, Mr. Chair.
Definitely, because of the enormity of the investment cost, no? $10 billion. So that's about 50 billion pesos. Kailangan mo talaga 500 billion pesos. 500 billion? Ganun kalaki. So imagine yung kanilang, kailangan talaga meron siyang assured market, no? Kasi kung hindi, saan niya dadalhin yung kanyang kuryente?
Just another thing, Mr. Chair. Why is there the exemption from CSP is just for the first one, Mr. Chair. It's just to have the pioneer in the Philippines, and it won't cover the rest of the succeeding ones, Mr. Chair. It's an incentive or encouragement to build the first nuclear power plant in the Philippines.
Anong status na secretary ng EVOS natin? Is it fully operational na? And then also, ERC is part of that, eh, no? So, kumusta ang implementation natin ng EVOS? Is it fully, everything is fully online already? But I get a lot of feedback. May mga nakausap akong developers na okay, positive feedback actually, and they said talagang nakita nila yung efficiency, no? But in terms of achieving full integration of all departments to EVOS, kumusta na tayo dyan?
Before kanina to ka Isaac May, no? Before Undersecretary Kapongkol answers, Mr. Chair, EVOS, yes, it's one of the most the pride and joy of DOE, but it's still not there yet, Mr. Chair, to be as we envisioned. It needs more work on the side of the DOE and all the other agencies. But yes, it's has given us much headway in pushing for renewable. Mr. Chair, before Undersecretary Kapongkol explains, I just want to plug in a request, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
There's one issue really of EVOS. It's given 30 calendar days pag kumpleto na siya, 30 calendar days, dapat ilabas na namin yung decision. Otherwise, it's deemed approved. 30 calendar days converts to 30 minus 8, mga 22 days, working days, Mr. Chair. Currently, we're handling about 26,000, did you say? We have processed 26,000, and we try to keep up naman with the number of people in REMB and the Bureau. But it's really not feasible it's not healthy, let's say. Iba niyan, Mr. Chair, na manganganak na lang sa hospital, may perma pa rin. May nakunan na yun dyan. May mga stroke. It's not healthy for because of that. We've tried to cut it off the hours, for example, na dapat past 5 o'clock, but still the stress levels in the, you can see it in the records ng turnover, and we're hoping maybe it can be well, our wish is just merely put it in 30 working days, no? Yun lang yun. Kasi hindi kasi yan nag-iisa eh. It has to go technical, legal, and financial. Hindi naman pwede na sabay-sabay lang lahat. Kasi kailangan may order siya eh. But that's our concern. Major concern yun sa REMB, sir. Kasi maybe before we were envisioning a few applications per day or per month, but now we're talking about thousands na eh. So it's not really we'll make the proper request to you, Mr. Chair.
What's envisioned when we were drafting that together with all these stakeholders is really a full automated, almost no human intervention system, meaning the system, the paper will hop from one office to the other via digital means, via electronic means. So yun yung vision. So that's why nung pino-formulate namin yun yung lumalabas, no, 30 calendar days. But we're open to listen. So you can send us a justification kung hindi talaga feasible. But that is the vision, no, to get it done as quick as possible.
We totally understand, Mr. Chair, and in fact, by using AI na nandyan na, it could even be easier than first envision. But we still have to fix our systems. We have to make sure that it's purely digital. It's not manual digital.
Yes,
and we
correct.
need
Tama.
another year for that, Mr. Chair. But during that year, our people in REMB and all the other agents, bureaus actually need a medyo konting break naman sa 30 calendar days. But anyway, how we'll communicate with it to you officially and properly, Mr. Chair. I'll give it to Undersecretary Kapungkol for the update on the agencies. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
then
Mr. Chair.
also I saw in the budget mayroong 30% budget increase to 59 million for EVOS. No? Yeah. So mayroon tayong budget para dito, no. But when na-realize na ba natin in total vision natin na full electronic, full digital ang EVOS?
If I may, Mr.
Yeah, go
Chair.
ahead.
Thank you.
Sec.
Since July 24, when 2020, when we started the Energy Virtual One-Stop Shop, there are 19 processes. But today, there are already 58 workflows from 14 department or national government agencies. No? So for the Department of Energy po, there are 5 units in the DOE that are integrated in the Energy Virtual One-Stop Shop. We have also the National Power Corporation, National Transmission Corporation, NEA po, and then we have the NCIP, Energy Regulatory Commission, and then the IMAP, the Independent Electricity Market Operator of the Philippines, the NGCP, yung DOLE, and DOJ. No? So we can provide po the list of specific workflows that are currently integrated in the EVOS. And currently ongoing po is about 65 processes that will involve DAR, Department of Energy again, another unit, and then DENR, including the Laguna Lake Development Authority, additional workflows from the Energy Regulatory Commission, the NWRB, market operator, another workflows for the NGCP. So continuously, we're building up all the full integration per each of the agencies in the EBOS po.
Dito sa report, 64 processes are not incorporated yet.
Yes po, in the work is 65 work processes, and we continue.
So kalahati pa lang yung na-incorporate, in other words, more or less.
Sa ngayon po,
You said-
58, Mr. Chair,
58, correct.
workflows, and then we're working on the 65 additional workflows.
Yes, so yung additional 65 will make it 100% fully digital, fully electronic.
Electronic, sir.
Fully electronic, oo. So that's why nga, 50% pa lang yung ating na-achieve ngayon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr.
Alright, sige. Well, we support that. Yun na nga, no, marami akong mga ilan-ilan naman, di marami, ilan-ilan na positive feedback. Sabi nila, na nakita nila yung difference in terms of speed and lessened red tape.
Mr. Chair, even for this this year or last year, no, ERC and NCIP also na-include na siya. So in some processes, but it made it easier for everyone also.
I'll jump to another topic, Secretary, and this is on NGCP. No, and NGCP's franchise is will expire. Yeah, 2034. No, yeah, in concession agreement, and then last time merong statement ng DOE which I agree, no, na ihiwala yung system operation tsaka yung in transmission, in asset ownership, no, and yung system operation should remain with government. In fact, na-file ko ba yung bill? Na-file ko yung bill? Na-file ko ba? Oo. In fact, nag-file ako ng bill eh. I'm just double checking na ihiwalay yung system operation and yung asset, no, ownership. Is that still the direction of the DOE? Considering that Maharlika already invested, I think about 20% ba of, if I'm not mistaken, 20% of indirect investment of NGCP.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure if that investment is signed and sealed yet.
Hindi pa ba? Alam ko signed and sealed na yan eh.
Well, that's the same question I have also, sir.
Right.
But now
That's the first time I've heard about. Akala ko it's a done deal, no? Because in fact I support that because that will give us eyes and ears, no, inside NGCP. And yun ang nawawala ngayon. Parang we're actually blind to the to a infrastructure that spans from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So, okay.
Mr. Chair, on the question on separating the system operation and the transmission assets, we do support the concept, Mr. Chair, and in fact, in our projects or proposed projects in Palawan and Mindoro, that's the structure that we are trying to establish na si Transco yung SO. Tapos iba rin yung transmission assets. So at least we can have models already. But in our proposed EPIRA amendments also, if on the part of transmission, we also suggest the separation of the system operator from the transmission assets.
So that's still the policy or concept that we're pursuing.
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
at least we're consistent on that front. I'll go to ERC kay Chairman Nino. Actually, almost nasa dulo na kami ng budget hearings. We have 2 more days of budget hearings. And inupuan ko lahat ng mga agencies. Wala akong absent. Pero ngayon lang ako nakakita ng agency na hindi nag-request ng Tier 2, no? Tier 1 lang, no? So ibig sabihin kung ano yung request nyo, yun ang ibinigay, 'di ba? Any reason for that? Because traditionally before you Chair Nino, madalas namin tinutulungan ng ERC by adding extra amounts, especially to support the resets. Alam to ng mga commissioners, no? We would add a few hundred millions. Kasi ako, personally, I believe in order to exact discipline and lower down electricity rates, we need to have a strong regulator. Deregulated tong environment natin eh. Isa lang ang pwede natin gawin para mapababa yung rates at siguraduhin na fair play is a strong regulator. No? So that's why we always augment the budget of ERC. But this time around, hindi kayo nag-request ng Tier 2. No? So any particular reason? And I heard earlier kay Senator Marcoleta marami ring mga resets na papasok I think next year. No? So
Yes, Mr. Chair. Insofar as the plan, because when I assumed office, there was already the proposed NEPs for ERC. I just had to look at the details of what is being proposed and looking at the utilization also, which was comparably very low.
That's
Then,
true also. Actually, that's another considered. The utilization is very low.
It would be contradictory for me to be asking for additional budget for certain expenditures when in fact those that were provided us we could not even make use of. But insofar as this year, for the remainder of the year, and to be able to realize our plan, our target to be able to finally restart the reset process by January, we will already be utilizing what is left of our budget for 2025 to be able to procure the regulatory reset expert, the consultant that will assist us in the review of the rate filings of the Group A entrance to the PBR for this coming January 2026. So that is our plan for the rate reset, Mr. Chair.
Kasama na siya sa budget for 2026 sa Tier 1 nyo.
For 2025, Mr. Chair, yes, that will be utilized, and then that consultant will be providing service until the reset starting 26.
26. Okay. All right. So with that amount, may mga items lang ako nakita sa budget, Chairman. Nakita ko na there's a decrease in the budget of local travel, but an increase in foreign travel. Diba mas kailangan natin ang local travel kasi nag-i-inspect kayo ng mga planta, nag-inspect kayo ng mga DUs. How come there's a decrease in the budget in local travel and increase in foreign?
Based on the submissions of the different services of ERC in terms of their budgetary requirement for local travels, to include, of course, the hearings in the localities and also the conduct of IEC and other activities in the various parts of the country, they felt that the current budget and that as proposed would already be sufficient. But insofar as foreign travels, considering the developments in the industry that need to be kept abreast of developments in technologies like for storage and now nuclear, we would need to capacitate our staff and send them to other countries for foreign travel so they can be exposed to these developments.
Deliberate yan. Deliberate na tinaasan yung foreign travel because of this. And I just want to inquire, no, kasi it's in the budget, so I just want to understand. And I admit, kagaya ngayon, nuclear, you will regulate nuclear rates. Admittedly, that's completely alien to all of us, no. I think walang tao sa Pilipinas siguro exposed sa nuclear rate setting. Ibang-iba talaga siya. So kung yun naman ang intention, then I support that, no? Kasi especially technical know-how is very important to the regulator. Very technical yan eh. No?
Yes, and how they regulate it in other jurisdictions where there are also markets or competitive electricity sectors.
Sige. And then I talked to Secretary Garin earlier, and she made a very good point about yung
Grid management.
the grid management committee, no? And I remember your predecessor or two predecessors collapsed that under the ERC, no? And the DOE, our policymaker, views that this is an important facet of regulation, no? So and there's no budget for that, no? So ano ba ang policy ng chairman ngayon on that grid management committee? And I know that's a very technical group eh. Talagang it's a multi-sectoral, different, all the players are there and very technical siya. All the experts are there, all the engineers are there. But in the past I think there was this notion that it's not supposed to be funded by government. That's why it was collapsed. So what's the new policy under the new chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we mentioned in the Committee on Energy during the hearing on the ERC restructuring bill, we actually support the reconstitution of the GMC-DMC either as an inherent part of the ERC organization or as an attached organization that supports or serves as ERC's technical arm. GMC and DMC were created pursuant to the Philippine Grid Code and Philippine Distribution Code, which were issuances of the ERC. They were funded not by government but by contributions from the sectors that they represent. For the Philippine Grid Code, it is funded out of assessment from NGCP, and for Philippine Distribution Code, it is funded out of assessments from the various distribution utilities. However, a previous chairperson found this arrangement to be not in order, so it decided not to act on the budgets of DMC and GMC anymore because ERC was the one approving it, but the assessment is made to the stakeholders. So naturally, these organizations died a natural death. What GMC and DMC were doing at the time that they were very active was actually supporting the ERC in terms of their technical know-how, knowledge, and their expertise that they are able to make use of whenever we refer actual work to them, like review of the distribution utility submissions of their compliance plans to the Philippine Grid Code or Philippine Distribution Code. So they are able to help in the evaluation and in the recommendation to ERC. They are also very helpful in introducing amendments to the Philippine Grid Code and the Philippine Distribution Code, because that is very important, because there is need to constantly update our grid and distribution codes. But when the DMC and the GMC were discontinued, so we found a vacuum in our organization. We do not have any more a technical arm we can rely on. So we are doing it by ourselves. We asked for additional budget for additional manpower, additional engineers, but with the additional budget that was approved in previous years, with the additional plantilla positions that were approved for ERC, what we are able to hire only are the Aero 1, Engineer 1, or those entry-level staff, fresh grads from university, and they don't have that experience that we had when we had the GMC and DMC, because their boards alone were from representatives of various distribution utilities, mid or high level officials with years of experience in utility operations. So we are not able to experience that with our expanded plantilla. So in our restructuring proposal that we are putting together, we're thinking either of having a technical arm embedded already in the ERC organization, or similar to GMC or DMC, as a separate non-stock, non-profit organization where we can have an agreement where they can provide technical support to ERC. Right now, the previous chair actually they issued a resolution to have an interim GMC, and the interim GMC was designated, the technical committee of the PEMC was designated as the interim GMC. But I don't know about what happened to that designation. I think it has not yet been fully utilized, because that is also an option. The GMC, there is attached to the PEMC, there's attached to the PEM board a committee known as the technical committee, and there are also representatives here from the industry that can have or possess that experience and expertise that can also be utilized by the ERC, but we need to just explore the possibility of collaborating with them or coming up with some arrangement. But of course, it would be superior if that committee can reside within ERC. And so for that, we may need to support the creation of that committee through a reorganization of ERC and budgetary support for this committee to be embedded in our organization.
I think, Chairman, ang issue rin is, number one, saan manggagaling yung funding? Ba? And then pangalawa, possible conflict of interest. No? And pangatlo is transparency. No? So as long as it serves the objective of public service, then we'll support that. No, I think those were the contentious issues before, but admittedly, it's ako nakikita ko importante yung technical side. No, and the code needs to be updated on a regular basis. Yun ang complication in that part, no. So just if you think that we need to, I think the policymaker thinks that it's an important aspect that we need to look at, just send us a letter, no. Just address the contentious issues of possible conflict of interest, funding, and also transparency. Sige, yeah, we'll wait for that. I also saw in your plantilla, Chairman, na out of the 546 total manpower, 253 are contract of service or job orders, which is almost 50%. No, napakalaki siya. No, considering that this is a highly technical and very important organization because it regulates the entire electric power industry. So, bakit hindi natin hindi maging plantilla sila o regular? Bakit puro kalahati ng manpower natin JO? So wala silang secure tenure, no, wala silang benefits. And yan ang kailangan natin, no, assurance that to our workforce na they will be maintained and they will be given the rightful benefits.
Yes, we agree, Mr. Chair. In fact, yun yung gusto din namin na makasama in our reorg proposal, na yung aming mga current na positions for contractual COS, kung pwedeng ma-regularize, because malaki din yung limitation sa aming staff na yan. Hindi namin sila maisama sa ibang mga biyahe or yung hindi mautusan makapag-conduct ng certain activities dahil doon sa status nila as COS. And of course, dahil ganun yung status nila, mas marami sa kanila kung hindi nabibigyan ng security, ay mas madali silang nakukuha ng ibang players.
Sure, mataas ang attrition sa inyo. No?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Bakit hindi sila nata-transfer nga to plantilla items?
Most of them, kung qualified naman.
Meron naman kayong hold on, let me just authorized naman yung inyong may mga authorized plantilla items naman kayo.
Yung ibang plantilla items din po kasi, may mga QS sila or yung qualification standard na sobrang napakatataas na hindi rin maka-qualify yung iba naming mga COS na karapat-dapat na sana at na-train na. Kaya tuloy, hindi rin namin ma-fill up yung ibang mga permanent positions. But we have a pending request with the Civil Service for the adjustment of the QS for some of these positions po.
Kita ko may 103 na vacant positions kayo.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So it's really a QS issue.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So I suggest you network with the CSC para maayos itong issue na ito. Kasi parang for a regulator, hindi healthy na kalahati ng workforce natin. Hindi siya permanent o hindi siya wala siyang security of tenure. And these are technical people, no? Engineers, economists, lawyers. So again, ako kasi paniniwala ko ang pag-asa na lang natin pababa ang kuryente is regulator. Kung mahigpit ang regulator, kung ang regulator innovative, tapos yung mga technical people magagaling, kayang pababain ang presyo ng kuryente. But it depends on the quality of our workforce and the motivation of our workforce. Yeah. I'll go to another topic na napag-usapan to before. I think some of the commissioners know about this and I made some comments on this. This is on the case nung NGCP reset. I understand that yung final decision nagkaroon pa ng utang ng consumers, no, na 0.0384 pesos per kilowatt hour. And prior to that kasi, what we understand before was yung partial determination, sila may utang sa atin, yung draft final determination, sila may utang sa atin. Pero ang nangyari, I think there was a big debate. Alam ng mga commissioners to. And I think this was heavily debated in your commission. And I voiced my opinion on this. Was the issue of uncommissioned projects or projects that are not commissioned yet. So ang position ko, to put it simply, I know this is a very technical, this is a very complicated matter. But sa akin is just to put it simply and make it kumbaga apply common sense. Kung di pa tapos yung project, dapat wag tayo i-charge. Diba? Kahit na nag-umpisa na silang magbigay ng piso, pero hindi pa tumatakbo yung project, dapat wag tayo i-charge. Kasi yun yung classic case na ginigisa tayo sa sarili nating mantika. Diba? Para sa akin, charge mo kami kung wag tumatakbo na yung project, kung gumagana na yung project. I understand that the Commission changed the interpretation 3 times. Ngayon ang ginagamit na is yung concept of as spent. Pag may nagastos na, pwede na kayo mag-charge. But sa akin, hindi yun ang point. Ang point dito, tapusin mo yung proyekto. Kaya nga tayo nagkaroon ng issue last time, Secretary of Delayed Projects, di ba? Ilang delayed projects, napakadaming delayed projects. Kaya nga, no less than the President in his SONA said na dapat managot ang NGCP. No? Dapat maging accountable sila because ang nakita niya, yung list of delayed projects that contributed to the erosion of our energy security, no? Particularly electricity. No? So, bakit nag-change ang commission interpretation at pinayagan yung as spent rather than pag-commission na yung project?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I was not privy to the discussions of the previous commission, but insofar as the regulatory framework for our private distribution utilities and the transmission provider, NGCP, when we adopted the performance-based regulation, kasama dyan yung sa NGCP, inadapt natin yung performance-based regulation na forward-looking based on forecast ng utility. So ibig sabihin, ang kanilang filing ginagawa sa year 1 halimbawa or the year before the first regulatory year of that regulatory period. Pino-forecast nila yung kanilang magiging expenditures of OPEX at saka yung CAPEX at isinasabit nila sa ERC. Yung ERC titingnan ngayon at base doon sa kanyang sinabit na CAPEX, titingnan ng ERC kung ito ba ay tama nga na simulan na or gawin na yung mga proyektong ito dito sa mga timelines na pinrovide mo. Ngayon, kung yun na ang naging approval ng ERC, ang gagawin naman susunod is ano ang magagastos mo na for each regulatory year of that ensuing regulatory period. So base yan doon sa forecast CAPEX mo at yung actual na implementation mo. At kung ano yung magagastos mo for each of these years, yan ay sinasama na as part of your asset base sa pagko-compute naman nung iyong return on the asset base at saka yung return off. So ibig sabihin, kung sa regular na PBR na nagsisimula siya sa rate reset before the start of the first year of the regulatory period, nagkakaroon na ng konsiderasyon yung mga nagastos na within that regulatory period. At bakit ito nakakasama? Dahil nga gusto natin bigyan ng insentibo na yung regulated entity ay magsagawa ng kanyang CAPEX on time base doon sa isinumite niyang schedule nang sa ganon pumapasok yung CAPEX, natatapos siya on time at during the time na mayroon na siyang pangangailangan sa asset na ito ay magagamit na. So nandito na kasi ipinasok mo na, inilagak mo na. Iba kasi po yung ating regulatory framework noon ng return on rate base na kung saan itatayo mo muna at pagkatapos ay doon ka ngayon mag-a-apply ng iyong RORB application batay doon sa kung ano na yung mga assets mo as of that historical test year. Pagdating po kasi sa ganon, pwede ka bago ka mag-file ng iyong RORB application, ay magsagawa ka na ng magsagawa. Kumbaga, patabain mo ng patabain yung asset base mo dahil pagpa-file mo, kung ma-considera lahat yan as part of your asset base, mas malaki ang magiging return on rate base mo. Wala yung insentibo doon na maging efficient ka sa pagsasagawa ng iyong CAPEX at doon sa iyong OPEX. Yun po kasi yung nabago doon sa ating rate making. Ngayon, pagdating sa reset ng NGCP at ganun din po doon sa mga distribution utility, nagkulang din po ang ERC dahil hindi siya nakapagsagawa ng reset bago pa magsimula ang regulatory period. Nawawala yung rate incentive, yung natural incentive ng rate making dahil nga ano ba ang i-implement ako kung ako yung regulated entity? Makapagsisimula na ba ako sa CAPEX ko na ito yung aking target? Ang nangyari tuloy, yung NGCP in particular, kinailangan niya mag-file ng separate na CAPEX application, separate, bawat proyekto na kinakailangan na niyang isagawa. At hindi pa rin niya maisagawa ito kung nakapag-file na siya, hinihintay pa rin niya yung CAPEX approval. At medyo naantala din, kaya rin hindi rin nakapagsisimula siya ng construction ng kanyang CAPEX. So naantala yon, nawala din yung insentibo. Kaya I would suppose that yun ang naging konsiderasyon nung naunang ERC in considering na para imimik mo pa rin yung incentives under that PBR. Ginawa mo na kung kailan mo ginastusan yung proyekto na yan. Dahil ginastos mo na ginastos mo na yung pera, yung capital investment, inilagay mo na kahit hindi pa nagagamit yung asset, mayroon ka na inilabas na pera at may cost din yon. So, I would suppose na yun din po.
But Chairman, in a perfect setting yung description nyo, ay lahat ng rate setting is delayed eh. Diba? Wala namang on time. Diba? Kailan ba naging on time? I think in the history ng ERC, mayroon bang on time? Parang wala naman on time eh. No?
In the last 10 years or so po, wala pong naging reset sa private distribution
Correct.
utilities.
So
Kaya,
that's yung description nyo. It's a yan yung perfect world. But now it's not a perfect world eh. No? So sa akin ang basic lang kasi there's no incentive for them to finish the projects kasi nangongolekta na sila. And that's the reason why we saw a lot of delayed projects that led to a lot of brownouts. Nagka-problema tayo sa mga brownouts in the past. So to correct that, dapat ma-penalize sila by not charging us for projects that are not completed. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, kahit na matapos ko on time, hindi ko matapos on time, pwede na ako mag-charge eh. Pwede na ako mag-charge. For me, that is one of the root causes. Maybe you're looking at a regulatory process side, but from a reality and application side, yun ang nangyayari ngayon. So that's why andito yung mga commissioners, alam ko yung naging boto nyo, pero you know, I think unfair yan sa amin consumers. Ako consumer ako, no? And I don't agree paying for projects that are not commissioned. No? That's number one. Kasi diba, for practical reasons, sino naman magbabayad ng full ng amounts na hindi pa tumatakbo yung project? Diba? Yun, from a regulatory process, tama kayo, pero hindi perfect itong process natin. Puro delay. Diba? Delay na yung reset, delay pa rin yung paggawa. Mabuti ko on time pa si NGCP, okay yun. Mabuti kung sinabi niya, okay, 2 years tapos na kami, okay yun. Eh hindi, nakita natin, may 10 years hindi pa tapos. Diba? So, yung pera, alam naman natin anong ginagawa nila eh. Gagamitin nila yung collection dito, lalagay dito, tatapusin doon, bago tapusin dito. I mean, negosyante yung mga yan. They're conserving their capital. Diba? So we have to be also very analytical on how they are managing their cash. At yun yung nakikita natin. They're just switching from one project to the other project. Yun yung nakikita rin namin eh. Kaya hindi nila talaga matatapos.
Mr. Chair, meron pong mekanismo din para mahuli yan. Kasi under the normal PBR, every time na magre-reset ka, babalikan mo din kung ano yung ginawa niya. Kung halimbawa, dun sa previous na regulatory period, nagkaroon ng CAPEX approvals at ganito yung schedule. Kapag ka nagkaroon ng delays or hindi na isagawa, pagdating sa susunod na reset, nagkakaroon po ng recalculation, yung mga net efficiency adjustments. Lahat po nito nakukonsidera para kung ikaw nga talaga ay hindi mo tinupad yung schedule ng pagpapatayo mo nung asset na yon o yung pasilidad na yon, pwede yan na bawiin or bawasan yung susunod mo magiging taripa moving forward. At yun nang
Bawasan ba with this?
ngayon hindi.
Nabawasan ba after?
Kasi po ito, kalalabas lang po ng ERC nung fourth reg final debt niya. Ngayon po ay meron pang nakabinbin na fifth reg until 2027, 28. Pero magkakaroon pa po tayo ng susunod at amin pong gagawin na ngayon na kada reset ay nasa oras na. Tulad
Kasi,
po ng gagawin namin sa mga DUs.
I remember si Secretary pa at that time nag-present dito ng mga delays. Diba? I remember siya nag-delay. Kasi nga ang issue that time was yung mga brownouts na nangyayari. Si Secretary Garin pa nag-present dito. Yung mga present niya na delays different. Natandaan ko may mga 5 years, may 7 years. Yung ba na-penalize ang NGCP? In fact, hindi. Na-reward pa nga sila dahil nagkautang pa yung consumers. Diba? That's the point I'm trying to make. Were they penalized? Yung mga delays na may evidence ng delay eh. That's for sure. Anong penalty ang siningil natin sa NGCP?
Meron daw po na ilang mga show cause orders na na-issue.
Yeah, but show cause yun. But yung actual financial penalty?
Check po.
Walang actual financial. Kaya nga, imagine mo, Chairman, si Presidente na ang nagsabi sa SONA. No, first time na ang Pangulo kinall out yung transmission operator. Diba? Because of the delays. But if you will not penalize them and instead reward them because as spent, sige, gumastos ka na kahit piso, charge mo na lang consumer. Hindi tamang, for me, hindi practical tsaka hindi reality on the ground. Again, that might be your regulatory process, your regulatory concept, But the realities on the ground, hindi ganyan. Nagkakaroon ng delays, and because of delays, nagkakaroon ng brownout. No? Yan ang realities on the ground. Iba yung textbook regulatory process, iba yung realities on the ground. Yan, katabi mo si Secretary Garin. Siya nag-present dito, I remember, nagkaroon ng resolution to look at the brownouts. So meron ba, tanong mo si meron bang penalty? Sa alam ko wala.
Mr. Chair, can we request Comdigal, who was already commissioner
Sige,
at the time?
Comdigal, meron ba? I know you voted in favor of that.
Yes, Chair. And
But may penalty ba? Did we impose any penalty to NGCP for the delays?
there were specific projects po that were covered by specific show cause orders wherein there were imposed penalties. Hindi lang po ako sure ng status. But Chair, if I may, because of that hearing nga po, wherein the issue on the delay was raised, there was a new provision in the final determination of the NGCP 4th RP that is not part of any other previous reset. To address po the issue on the delay, there is now a annual CAPEX review true-up. What do I mean by that po? Although naka-MR po yung NGCP na FD, pero nandun na po to dun sa FD. Ang sinabi po namin doon, itong RAB na binigay namin sa iyo, may kasamang CAPEX na meron kang kinumit na timeline. But at the end of the year, pag ni-review namin na meron kang hindi nasunod dun sa timeline mo, that amount pertaining to that asset will be removed and there will be adjustment. Yun po ang naging parang bagong provision dun sa final determination ng NGCP para po ma-address natin, yun nga pong nasa kanila na po yung parang naging budget tapos hindi po na sunod yung delay. So tatanggalin po yun. There will be a true-up po.
That's forward. Paano na yung na-delay na? Paano na yung na-delay? Yun ang tanong ko. May mga delays na, may mga brownouts nangyari due to delays.
Yun pong mga delay, ano na po siya, na-covered po siya nung specific project na na-delay because all the decisions of the Commission in approving the CAPEX, meron na po siyang timeline na kinumit or inapprove. Minsan nga po yung sinasabi nilang timeline, hindi po namin yun ang ina-approve. We approve a timeline in accordance dun sa isinasubmit nilang TPSR o kaya yung number of months na kinumit nila nung sila po yung nag-file ng application. Meron pong mga specific cases yan na nakalagay na po yun para pag po na-delay sila doon or may delay silang na-incur, there will be penalties po.
Tanong ko, yung mga investigation ng DOE na na-prove nila may delays, na-penalize ba ang NGCP doon? Yun ang tanong ko, simple lang. Meron ba o wala?
Ang alam ko po may na-issue mga show cause orders po. Hindi pa, wala lang po akong data ngayon.
Slap in the hand lang yun.
Apo. We will submit na lang po siguro kung meron na pong nabayaran or meron na pong na-evaluate na may penalty. Wala lang po sa akin ngayon yung
dito naman sila,
data.
Alvin, bakit i-check nila kung meron?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think there was once for 5 million pesos. Yun lang yung maximum naman talaga pwede nila impose.
Yeah, but 5 million.
Very small.
But 5 million is compared to NGCP, wala yan. Naglolokohan lang tayo pag ganyan.
It's not because of ERC, it's because of the rules that's
So
sa batas yata,
my
sir.
point of the matter, Chairman Nino, is let's be fair to the consumers. I know what you're saying. Naintindihan ko yung inyong regulatory process, naintindihan ko yung regulatory concepts, but the realities on the ground, nagkaka-brown out because of delays. At hindi natin pwedeng i-baby ang NGCP. No? We need to be tough. Kasi kung gusto nating disiplina, kailangan ni regulator mahigpit. Kasi kung sasabihin nila, sige, gastos kayo, pwede nyo man charge sa consumers. Bahala na kung 20 years nyo mapailaw yan o ma-activate yan. Lugi naman yung si consumer. Di ba? Nangongolekta ka na, konti-konti mo ginagawa, in-collecta mo, gawin mo muna isa dito, gawin mo muna isa dito. Di ba? Hindi naman tama yon. Di ba? we have to be fair to the consumers. I voiced this out. Alam niyo yun, nung last budget, sabi ko, hindi pwedeng ganyan. Yeah, but then, hindi naman nangyari yon, no? So, ngayon, nandito yung mga consumers, nandito yung mga commissioners. Let's be fair. No? Reconsider that concept ng as-spent. I don't agree with that. That's unfair to us, the consumers. No? And ngayon, may bagong ng chairman, you reconsider nyo yan kasi hindi maganda yan No? It's not an incentive for NGCP to do its job. In fact, we're rewarding bad practices by the transmission operator. Do you want to say I'll move on to but if you want to have a rejoinder, I'll move on to another topic nilang. So, yun lang ang gusto ko Chairman, kasi nagulat lang ako na natuwa ako sila may utang sa amin After nung final, kami pa nagkaroon ng utang sa kanila. Hindi naman, tapos sila pa na-delay. Diba? Isipin nyo yung narrative. Sila yung na-delay, nagka-brownout, pero kami pa nagka-utang. Look at the narrative. Diba? That's the narrative na lumalabas. No? So, and we are trusting our commissioners, ERC, na protektahan kami. No? Kasi that's part of your mandate to protect the consumers. No? But the narrative in there, kay ikaw pa yung delay, ginamit mo pa yung pera namin sa ibang project, tapos kami pa magdadagdag ng presyo. No? That's not hindi tama yon. I find that unfair. No? So, let's leave it at that. I-review na lang ng commissioners. Andito naman lahat ng mga commissioners and we have a new head. So, I trust that the new head, kilala ko naman si Chairman Nino, I trust that he will protect the consumers and put the consumer interests at the forefront. No? I'll go to I'll go to NPC kay Pres Nograles. And I Pres Nograles, I am quite teka, pull out ko lang yung notes ko Yeah. Meron akong here. I saw in your budget, meron kayong clean and affordable electricity program, which is 540 million, 546 to be exact. And power and system reliability and resilience for 441, then access to electricity 572. And I'm very happy to see that meron ng clean and affordable electricity program, no? Ang NPC to a tune of 546. Can you explain this program? I'm very happy to see that meron ng ganito ang NPC. Considering that NPC, 90% of your generation comes from diesel? Tama ba?
Okay, Mr. Chair. If you exclude the hydroelectric plants that we operate.
Excluding hydro, dun sa dun sa SPAG areas,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Almost 99%. Meron yatang a few hybrid systems, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But what is this program, yung clean and affordable electricity?
Basically, Mr. Chair, these are our solar with battery storage.
Okay.
So we've got different programs that are in the pipeline, and these are the ones that are being requested from Congress.
And this is going to be the first time?
No, it's a continuing project, Mr.
It's a
Chair.
continuing project.
Yes, so this is, I have to give credit where it's due. It's not under me. But what I'm trying to do is I'm reviewing if the technical specs here are correct and if it's fully implementable. It's one of the things that nakita ko kasi, Mr. Chair, when I started that it has to be technologically feasible. Kasi minsan, yung mga design, medyo may pagkukulang, may napapansin ako. So I'm getting my hands dirty on this one.
So in other words, itong clean and affordable electricity will be mainly solar technology.
Hybrids, Mr. Chair.
Hybrid
So the
technology.
idea is you've got solar and then merong battery and then ikakabit po natin dun sa ating mga aging na diesels to help augment that. And then I'm also going to I'm challenging my teams now to design the same system or try to avoid having the diesel component and putting it into microgrids in unserved. Kasi nakita ko po yung mga unserved, merong mga tools kasi kami nakita na may mga isla na ang joke ko nga, Mr. Chair, if I may, powered by Shopee. Kasi bumibili na lang sila ng Shopee pero wala po silang hindi po nare-reach ng Napocor. So yung sa mga yan, currently meron tayong solar home systems and we're trying to deploy it to the furthest talaga, but I also want to improve on that. So we have an upcoming 3-day strat plan. Binibigyan ko na po sila lahat ng homework in that direction po. So we're excited for that.
Itong solar is
Yes, sir.
Battery and solar and diesel combination.
So yung diesel po, hindi po tayo bibili ng diesel. Existing diesel, to didikit po
Okay.
natin yun.
Alright.
I think ang report sa akin ng teams, the biggest challenge is the controller. So this is the non-human intervention kung kailan sisipa yung diesel kasi from the battery or direct ng solar. So dun daw nagkakaroon ng technological challenge yung dun sa controller. So like I mentioned earlier, personal po ako bumababa at pumupunta dun sa mga young engineers at sina-challenge ko. To sabi ko, alika, punta tayo sa mga existing and working projects because these guys, they're open to teach us and we should be willing to learn. So yun po yung tinutumbok ko po.
And then I saw here meron na tayong 27 existing areas na hybrid. Tama ba? Press.
Let me
And
verify
then three
that
new
I
ang
don't
target
want to be...
next year is 3 new areas.
I know, more than 3 new areas. po
More
tayo.
ba? How many ang target?
Kasi like right now dito sa kodigo ko, Mr. Chair, merong Naro, Gilotongan, Osmeña, San Pascual, Cabra, Tingloy. Ang dami mga lugar na hindi ko pa po napuntahan. Mahaba-haba po to.
So how many new areas ito? And I support this. In fact, nung nabubuhay pa si Pio Benavides, yung predecessor mo before, we were already flagging him about the rising cost of UCME. Kasi UCME galing yan ng diesel eh. No? So tayo lahat nagbabayad niyan sa on-grid areas. So I think he started the conversation of hybrids. No? So nag-umpisa doon. But right now, how many hybrid areas ang meron tayo?
Ito yung binilang ko po dito sa 1.5 billion natin na hinihingi. Yung 546 million po na hinihingi specifically for renewable energies, 30 areas.
30
Yung sa existing...
30 existing areas.
No, ito po yung sa 546.
Yung target.
Yung ating
Yes.
pinag-uusapan na if a fund for 2026, we are looking at
Dami,
yung 546, 30 areas. Yung sa existing, 8 lang po and with ongoing 7 na mangyayari.
May
And then I'm
secretary,
also,
wala eh. Meron palang 8. Ikaw naman, Sharon.
yung isang ang example,
But,
Mr. Chair,
but kidding aside, matagal na nakita ko, kasi madalas namin pag-usapan to during budget hearings eh, na palakihin yung hybrid. Ang problema kasi, and I'll show you yung UCM. Meron ba tayong slide ng UCM? Ang UCME natin ngayon is ano ba tayong power? Paki-flash. Yan, almost 14 billion na ang UCME natin because of this is primarily because of diesel prices. Diba? Ang diesel naman di bumababa, pataas eh. No? So pag pataas ang diesel prices, tataas rin yung UCME natin. So ngayon, if you compute yung difference ng yung approved subsidy rate, 7 pesos, 7.4 pesos, ang true cost ngayon is 26. So ang difference is 18 pesos. So ganong kalaki ang subsidy per kilowatt hour. Yun ang ganong kalaki ang binabayaran ng consumers outside of the missionary area. So the strategy is to lower down the use of diesel, and the only way to do that is to hybridize. No?
Tama po yan, Mr. Chair. In fact, that's why we're prioritizing the hybridization, because the way that we estimate it, it's going to be 12 or below per kilowatt hour. So that, yun po yung challenge na binigay po sa akin. Napakalaking challenge, pero sige lang po.
Okay. Well, ano ka naman, ikaw kilala kita as innovative eh. So and very aggressive. So hopefully we get meaningful impact with the hybridization projects, kasi that's the only way na bababa yung consumption natin. And this is related to diesel consumption eh. Kaya yan lang ang only way natin eh. Yes.
Just to add, we're also talking already with NPC on giving them more microgrid areas and use the microgrid concept in some of the islands, Mr. Chair.
And that's my question. Meron ba tayong plans for microgrid areas this coming 2026? Ang concept natin dito naman is to invite the private sector to invest in microgrids. Sila na bahala, no? Including distribution. No? Sila nang bahala. But regulated, of course, by ERC. No? But sila nang bahala doon sa generation and distribution, but microgrid lang, maliit na areas. No? NPC is the one who will bid that out eh. DOE ba? DOE. Sorry, DOE pala. Sorry,
Meron po tayong existing microgrids, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 existing microgrids also. We plan on expanding. Yeah, we're working on it, Mr. Chair. Our expansion.
That's for 2026. Identified areas na yan. Meron na ba tayong USEC GEV na mic operating MGSP? Wala pa, no? Wala pa. QTP, ba't yung MGSP? Wala pa. Can you use the mic?
We awarded it December 2023.
Okay.
They have 18 months to build it.
Okay, but they're ready mobilizing?
They are mobilizing, sir.
How many areas?
8 lots.
8 lots. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
That's for 2026, Mr. Chair. That's Daan Bantayan, Cebu, Medellin, Cebu, Bordeos, Quezon, Panukulan, Quezon, Dumaran, Palawan, dalawang areas sa Dumaran, Palawan, Coron, and Busuanga, Mr.
This is
Chair.
for microgrids.
Yes, for
Candidates
2026.
For 2026. Okay. All right. So hopefully ditong 2026 yung microgrid plus your hybridization magiging magiging may impact na ito sa pagbaba ng UCME. The goal is to bring down UCME. Taas na ngayon eh. No, 14 billion ang linalabas na ngayon ng consumers. No? That's a way to lower down electricity rates because it's being charged to all of us.
Mr. Chair, I'm just to give support to what you mentioned. Meron po tayong hybrid dun sa Kwaming where we save 1.1 million pesos worth of diesel a year. So it also helps in decreasing our carbon footprint.
But right now, you said you have 8 areas na may hybrid na. We have 8 areas operating.
Ongoing.
Ongoing, di pa operating.
Sorry. I stand corrected,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
ongoing. I was going to ask magkano na nasi-save natin eh. So, sige, ongoing. All right. But yun lang ang aking Press Jericho to pursue the hybridization project, and I see that you have budget here. But that's the only way, again, no? If you want to lower down electricity costs, one way is to lower down the UCME. Yeah. Magkano na UCME ngayon? How much is the... So that's 19 centavos rin. No? And growing yan, lumalaki yan. Ha? 19 centavos is growing yan. No? Kasi lumalaki yung charges. Yeah. Yeah. Meron pa tayo sa- What else? Aside from yung Siquijor and Siargao, meron pa bang areas tayo na problematic because of the NPPs? Meron bang ano? Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
Mr. Chair, this is a multi-agency and everybody wants to answer.
Daming gustong sumagot.
I know, but I just want to point na lang
Daming gustong
who
sumagot.
does what, no? Actually, on the part of DOE, we have a task force for the islands in which Mario has several islands targeted this year and next year. That's together with the rest of the agencies. They visit these islands, mag-evaluate ano yung sitwasyon and what are the proposals. And sila Nani also has their own set of cooperatives, let's say, no, not just specifically islands. For example, Basilan is one of their major, or Zamboanga, which is not an island but also a problem. But they have certain areas also. But between the two, DOE and NEA, always involved will be Napocor also because sila yung power producer. So, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, maybe Mario can answer and then Nani can follow through. Huh?
I just want to know, meron pa tayong mga problematic SPAG areas, particularly NPPs. Pag NPC naman, di naman nagiging problematic kasi may generator sila. But yung NPPs, kagaya ng nangyari sa Siquijor or sa Siargao, Siargao ba is an NPP?
No, it's on the grid.
On grid siya, kasi yung cable
Yung cable ang
naging
problema
sira,
po, sir.
no? Yeah, maybe Siquijor, mga ganyan type.
Yeah.
Meron pa ba tayong ganyan na areas?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have several islands that we are continuously monitoring, and in fact, on Monday, we're scheduled to visit Catanduanes. So that is included for the year. But aside from that, so we have to revisit several off-grid areas that covers not Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So may mga program po kami, like Northern Palawan, we're looking at Busuanga, Coron, and adjoining islands. We are also looking at the interconnection of Camiguin Islands. Masbate, but Masbate is under rehabilitation at this time, so we still have to. We are recognizing that the rehabilitation will improve the system already in Masbate. Camotes is already under our monitoring. We have already visited that, but we have Calayan Islands in Cagayan and several others. Marami po, sir. But for this year, we are confined with first Siquijor, Camotes, then we have remaining Catanduanes and Camiguin for this year.
These Camiguin and Catanduanes are NPPs.
Catanduanes is NPP provided with sole provider, but Camiguin is grid connected. However, its connection is currently not working properly, resulting to under voltage.
Okay. So ano siya, hindi siya hindi siya problema ng power producer. It's a cable problem.
Yes po.
Yung sa Masbate, galing ako doon eh.
Masbate-
Problema talaga.
Yeah,
I
we-
wrote DOE about that.
Yes, but Masbate was totally damaged by Typhoon Opong.
But even the typhoon,
But even before the
Problema
typhoon,
na yan.
it's probably actually po target na niya namin siya for this year. Kaya lang nga parang naunahan tayo ng bagyo. So the restoration ng Masbate should put in place yung necessary correction that could have been implemented kung wala yung nangyaring damages. So parang naunahan na tayo ng rehabilitation to improve.
so ang may interconnection ba sa Masbate? Wala eh, 'di ba?
Wala pa po. But
So you really need to change the generators.
yes. But you see, Masbate has a good power supplier. But we have problems on the system, the overall system. Kasi maraming lateral lines instead of looping system of transmitting power from one area to the other. In fact, Masbate has a thermal power facilities using coal as base load. Kaya lang yung mga peripheral off-site satellite gensets nila are diesel. So, but yun nga sir, yung Mr. Chair, yung rehabilitation effort should already improve the system.
Okay, so but that's beyond ito, lahat to beyond budget na ito, no?
Yes po,
These
beyond
are
budget.
all policy considerations.
Yes, since we will be conducting full audit, performance and assessment, technical, financial, and legal, then covered na po lahat yung assessment. To be, of course, our stakeholders, the suppliers and the electric cooperatives and distribution utilities will be the one to implement whatever findings we will have.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Just to add lang,
Secretary.
because we have a team actually, we're working with NEA, NAPCOR, and MIC even, together with DOE. We've identified some islands also that not necessarily na hindi kailangan budget. These are major works, and we're targeting this and trying to find funding. I think NEA can further explain on this also, Mr. Chair. If you
Because
allow.
commissionary areas, the only option we have is to buy more generators, NPC, diba? You can. I'll be more than happy to be corrected. Kasi yun ang first instinct ko. But if there's other solutions, and if you can help, kasi budget season nga, if you can help allocate funds to help Masbate, Catanduanes, and ano yung isa, Camiguin, tutulong kami, no? Just let us know what do you guys need.
Permission, Mr. Chair, to relate the ongoings and the partnership with MIC. The project at Mindoro took off already, and this is the acquisition of the NPC asset of the backbone of the whole of the island of Mindoro. So we are designing it to have a radial transmission backbone or transmission backbone into the whole island, and thereby upgrading the backbone itself, because the backbone right now needs rehabilitation. So MIC will acquire the distribution backbone, and that will be upgraded. And that was designed by the UP College of Engineering, Professor Wally. So we are following that, and then MIC will be in partnership with Transco to be the system operator. And the idea is, if it will be fully implemented, there will just be one Mindoro electric cooperative supplying the whole island. And the same template will be done with the island of Palawan. Palawan is being supplied by a single line diagram, almost 600, 700 kilometers. And there was also a design that we will follow, wherein north will be one loop, Puerto Princesa will be another loop, and the south of Palawan will be another loop. And that is to improve the voltage quality and the delivery and reliability of the electric generation in the whole island.
In addition lang, Mr. Chair, that's Palawan, Mindoro, and we're also assessing Siargao, Basilan, Siquijor, Catanduanes, Masbate was supposed to be there, naunahan lang na, and Camotes pala. Now, so when we talk about Siquijor and Basilan, it's the lines inside eh. We have to improve that kasi isang dapo lang ng ibon dyan, baka it's really an old system. So we have the numbers already that's needed for Siquijor and Basilan. Siargao and Catanduanes, other than improving the lines, pwede siya ma-connect through submarine subsea cables. So those are things that we are already assessing. It's the funding that's tricky. That's why we're trying to bring in MIC in some of the projects. But in some, we might find funding from NEA and other sources that we can find. But iba talaga mahuhuli sila dahil kulang talaga yung budget. Because just by, as an example, Siargao, I think, was that a connection? Mga 800 million. Just to connect Siargao to the mainland, it's already 800 million, Mr. Chair. So we're trying to, through loans or through other fundings or through GAA, that's what we're trying to figure out with these islands. Because these islands are potential tourist areas, Mr. Chair.
Example, Camotes tourist area yan. Of course, Basilan is a thriving province, and then you have Siargao, Siquijor. These are tourism. Most of these are very important tourism areas.
We have assessed already Basilan, Siargao. Ano pa bang mga napunta niyo?
So the funding will come from MIC, Maharlika.
Only with regard to Mindoro and Palawan, Mr. Chair. In Siargao, the circumstance is that last December, nagkaroon ng glitch yung submarine cable nila. So we are now trying to put an N-1, no? So NEA loaned in the tune of 840 million to Siargao to do an N-1. So mahirap, baka biglang bumigay. I mean, dugtong na lang kasi siya, Mr. Chair. So it was apparent that Congressman Dagook really would put an N-1 submarine cable connecting the three islands. And the same thing with Basilan, kahit na magdagdag kami ng generation, if we will not put a rehabilitation or do a rehabilitation of the distribution backbone, the whole island will still suffer a poor quality of electricity. And that is what we're doing right now. We did a study. It's in the tune of 400 to 500 million. I already started pouring in 100 million before the end of this year, and we'll just be doing it in phaseology. Although generation NPP, there's a pending CSP that is being conducted, and the new NPP will come in.
So I heard earlier, Administrator, that ang Maharlika papasok sa ganitong mga projects?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Specifically transmission projects?
Yes, sub-transmission. Actually, 2 years ago, Mr. Joel Consing visited in my office, and they want to put money into the power energy industry. So these are the things that were suggested to MIC. We developed it, and now we are implementing it in Mindoro already.
What will be the arrangement? Obviously, they will be the funders, but who will own the asset?
They will be the asset owners.
They'll be the asset
and
owners.
They will be actually bundling with the franchise of Transco for Transco to do the system operation so they can recover from the investment of the assets.
And mostly this will be in the SPUG areas.
SPUG areas, sir.
Mostly in the SPUG areas.
Yes, sir.
But these are not small SPUG areas like Palawan.
Well, Mindoro and Palawan, I believe, consist 60% of the UCME, consumes
correct,
60% of the UCME. So hopefully, with the rehabilitation and upgrading of the distribution backbone, a lot of renewables can be accommodated. And the same is true with Palawan.
Sila na rin dapat mag-fund nung hybrid. Kabit na nila doon, hybrid system para mapababa yung utility.
Hindi pa namin napag-uusapan, Mr. Chair, but they are just limiting themselves into the transmission assets.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm inquiring because I know that marami mga problematic areas and it's the budget season. So if the Senate can intervene in allocating some portions to improve the electricity situation in those areas, now is the time. And I know that NPC, hindi lang ba NPC ito? Kasi typically pag SPAG, NPC ang kausap eh. So it will be a multi-agency
Actually, it's a
approach.
multi-agency coordination already,
Okay,
Mr.
just
Chair.
let us know how we can help.
Because, Mr. Chair, we more or less we've identified where MIC should come in, and some other parts maybe private can come in as whether it's a PPP or a solicited proposal from them. But there are other parts talaga na we need government support, especially Siargao and Basilan, I would say, right now. So we'll just prepare the papers, the documents, and we can send it to your office.
Let us
Mr.
know,
Chair.
lalo na Siargao kasi tourism areas yan eh. So kung walang kuryente, kawawa yung mga hotels. Hindi naman rin sila pwede mag-generator all the time. Lulugi sila.
That was what happened, Mr. Chair, last time. They suffered 13 days of no electricity. Magpapasko pa naman. So,
Kung generator sila, ang cost nila pagbili is 26 pesos per kilowatt hour. No?
or more.
Oo. So, hindi magso-survive yung negosyo nila pag
That's
ganyan.
true.
No? So, kailangan talaga nila ng electricity. Yeah. Just let us know how we can intervene and support. And then my last question to NPC, nakita ko this is about missionary electrification. In 2023, the utilization rate is 72%. Then in 2024, bumaba siya to 55%. And how are we doing in what seems to be the problem with missionary electrification? This is one of your core mandates. And I saw in your presentation earlier that meron pang 450,000 na mga households na in the missionary areas na hindi pa electrified. So have you improved the utilization rate?
Mr. Chair, it was before my time.
Yes,
but,
definitely before your time.
The quick answer to the question is it was deferred by the NPC board at that time.
But mababa kasi yung utilization. In fact, in 2022 is only 14%, 2023 is 58%, 2024 23%. This is a core mandate missionary electrification.
Mr. Chair, these are actually the implementation ng mga tie lines, distribution lines na hindi natuloy.
Ito.
Yeah. So merong sa Holo na mga tie lines. This one is Palawan also, no? May mga tie lines din sa Palawan na hindi natuloy yung implementation because it was deferred. So that's why yung utilization bumagsak at that time.
And what's the action plan to improve utilization?
So while it's deferred, it doesn't mean na it's not going to push through. It's actually being pushed through, and we're pushing that to be 90%, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Kaya ba within the year? Is that feasible?
Before 2025? Yeah, naka-target na, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
90%.
All right. Sige, we'll monitor that. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'll go to NEA, to Administrator Almeda. And I just want to get some updates on the solar home systems in mainstreaming. I think this is a good project. Alam ko na
Yes, Mr.
You
Chair.
explained this very well last time. I remember.
Yeah, we did a presentation
Oo,
in your
maganda
office.
siya. No? So
Yeah.
I just want to get an update. Kumusta itong solar home system project natin?
We are able to energize, installed already about 30,000 units. There's an ongoing installation of 12,000 units, and there is an ongoing procurement bidded out already of another 10,000 units. So we are expecting at least 50,000 units to be installed within the year. I withheld the bidding first because it was programmed to bid out about 80,000 units this year, Mr. Chair. However, I will be lacking already in manpower to validate and issue certificate of final inspections because I was precluded by some COA findings regarding my EAW. So I wish to appeal, Mr. Chair, that this special provision on the use of EAW as part of the operational revenues be granted to NEA because with the bulk of subsidy projects NEA is implementing right now, we are having limited source of manpower to validate everything. And we are also about to, if I may, Mr. Chair, we are also about to implement 294 energization of the last mile schools, powered also by solar home systems. And we are just awaiting downloading of the funds from DBM. We have already bidded it out. And if the use of the engineering and administrative overhead will still remain the same, I have to admit, I have to be honest that we will be having difficulty in the timely liquidation and implementation of these projects.
Mr. Chair. Yes, in the from HOR, there was an additional budget for total electrification under NEA at 8 billion pesos, Mr. Chair. And considering this, the implementation would not be as fast if kasi the more projects NEA has, the more validation they have to do. And right now they have enough people for a budget of 1.5 to 2 billion.
2 billion actually.
Now if you increase that by 8, actually additional 8,
Yeah.
then the manpower won't be enough. Now, NEA has a proposal of allotting a certain percentage for, ano ba? Hindi ko
No,
makita.
the administrative expense is really something that is ongoing right now. It's rather the use of that administrative fee of 3% per project that is that should form part of the engineering and administrative overhead. However, I can understand COA because based on the provisions before, this EAW can only be, as per the provision, it can only be utilized on the project itself. No, so if we identify one project, we can only spend some engineering staffing or field validators just for that project, as compared if it will be considered as operational revenue and it will form part of the internally generated funds, then we can hire regular engineers to beef up our manpower to validate and inspect all these projects. I mean, these are all last mile schools, PVMs, to the farthest, the unviable and unserved areas. Mr. Chair, you can just imagine the travel time, the logistics involved, and for us to come up with an efficient and accurate validation of these projects. We need warm bodies, really. And not only warm bodies but rather qualified personnel to issue and sign the certificate of final inspection and audit.
We'll break it down one by one. No? We'll start off first with yung solar home systems. And the reason why I asked this because I want this to connect to schools. No? And right now, for school year 2023-2024, according to to DepEd, meron pa tayong 2,000 schools na walang kuryente.
Well, on the last mile schools alone, Mr. Chair, per DepEd, there are still 2,359.
Okay.
2,359. So as per our MOA, which we recently signed last February, all their electrification budget will be downloaded to NEA.
Okay.
So NEA can implement the energization of the last mile schools. However, the budget can only accommodate 294.
That is my next question because one problem that I want to solve, actually two problems I want to solve is one number with education. Number one is dapat lahat ng school natin may kuryente.
I agree, Mr. Chair.
Ang susunod, dapat lahat ng school may internet. Kasi hindi naman pwede may internet, walang kuryente. Diba? So, umpisahan muna natin yung kuryente. So, and based, siguro ito, no? I'm just off by 300.
Actually, Mr. Chair, if I may share, the pilot school we energized in Agusan del Norte, the first school that we did as a pilot project, of which Secretary Angara and myself energized and inaugurated. We were able to energize, put electricity to supply 4 classrooms. And we also brought with us that Starlink. And when we inaugurated that school, actually, we had a Zoom meeting with the president then, who was somewhere. And we were able to donate also smart TVs that can give the professors or the teachers an interactive method of teaching. And that also the setup is designed also to accommodate charging tablets for the design. We came up with the design that can do charging of 40 tablets per classroom. And that would give the students the opportunity to receive tablets that are normally given to public schools here in the metropolis.
In assumption natin itong 2,300 schools na walang kuryente. Assumption natin na sa co-op sila, co-op areas.
Yeah, within the franchise area of the electric cooperatives.
Okay. And the way to reach those 2,300 schools through solar rooftops.
Solar with battery.
Solar with battery.
Solar with battery,
Okay.
Mr. Chair. The design are for 2, 4, 8, and 16 classrooms.
Okay, but some of the schools yata malalaki. But sige, how much per school ang investment?
Parang if my memory serves me right, Mr. Chair, parang nasa 1.2 million for the 4 classroom setup.
1.2 million for 4 classroom.
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chair.
And then how much is the investment to cover the 2,300 schools?
Well, we just have to qualify, Mr. Chair, because there are schools that are 8, there are 16.
Yeah.
Pero Mr. Chair, pag tumataas yung bumababa yung koste.
Okay, so assuming
Parang ganun, pero pag bumababa siya.
assuming 1 million siya per school, assuming lang I'm just
Yeah.
making some easy calculation. So lalabas mga 2 billion, 2.3 billion
Something there.
ang
Something
kailangan
there.
natin.
Something there.
Oo. I'm checking, alam ko ang DepEd allocation is about 1.2 billion ang electrification nila. So ang kulang na lang natin is another 1.2 to make it 2.4.
Something that...
Ha? Oh, I'm just ano lang to initial calculation lang to para lang mayroon na akong working figure. Para may target na working figure ako. So to complete all 100%, to complete all the 2,300 schools, kailangan natin roughly lang
2.4.
2.4, but ang additional na lang is 1.2.
Okay.
Kasi may 1.2 na sila eh. No, roughly lang to, roughly. Sabi nga ni Sharon, ni Secretary, mas malaki pa yan. But roughly lang. So para lang ma-complete na natin. Kasi yesterday, DICT was here and we managed to work out provision with them na yung mga wala pang internet, lalagyan na ng internet through the free Wi-Fi
Yeah, but the
program.
electricity should be present.
Kasi yung free Wi-Fi program is about 5 billion pesos and more. So, malalagyan na yung schools. Ang problema ngayon, walang kuryente. No? So, that's why I'm working with NEA to electrify those schools na wala pang kuryente. So, we'll take note that we need to add 1.2. Pwede bang idiretso na yan sa NEA?
Actually,
ng transfer.
Actually, Mr. Chair, what happened for 2025, nagmowa kami, but it was already downloaded to DepEd. And ni-request lang nila sa DBM to download it straight to NEA
Sige,
by virtue of the MOA.
We'll work na lang with Secretary Angara
Yes.
kung anong prefer niya.
Yeah.
Kasi iniisip ko, since kayo naman kaya ko tinanong, where the assumption here is nasa co-op area siya.
Yeah, it's
maganda idiretso na lang with the provision there na these are to electrify the remaining 2,300 schools. Para tapos na tayo doon, wala na tayong problema with the schools.
Mr. Chair.
Tsaka ano rin you need the co-ops na rin, Mr. Chair, to maintain that and to...
Actually, Mr. Chair, for the information of the body, I requested the co-ops not to charge anything to these public schools in terms of operation and maintenance. That will be part of their CSR already. But they are the ones who will be the one to be the lead in installing in the installation of the solar panels and the installation of the battery energy storage system.
Thank you, Admin. So at least na-solve natin yung sa schools because we want to solve one problem at a time. And 1.2 billion is not that much naman. I think we can source it out somewhere. I'll go to itong presentation ninyo, Admin, just to understand. You started, we'll flash yung ComSec, yung SEP accomplishments. I want to understand where we are in terms of electrification. So we started off with 19,000 unenergized sitios. Ngayon ang natitira 8,800. Tama? Yan ang natitira natin for
Mr. Chair.
2026. And that will completely, tama ba? That will completely energize the entire Philippines. Itong 8,800.
Sitios lang to.
Yeah, sitio ba?
Yeah. Okay.
Kasi ang pag kinabit mo yung sitio, di mayroon ng kuryente doon. O iba pa yung household connection.
Iba pa siguro yung household connections, Mr. Chair, because this is a moving target. The sitios are moving target. Anyway, I think it's better that we submit the 5-year program of the total electrification. I mean, this is kind of misleading, I have to admit. Maybe just to present the budget utilization in terms of the prior years. We presented this one, but I would submit, Mr. Chair, to your office, the 5-year program starting 2023 of the total electrification, strategic total electrification roadmap.
Okay. But based on data, ang unelectrified na lang natin is 1.7 million households.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Because this is a moving target.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Chair.
Lumalaki yung population natin, especially in the countryside. So, lumalabas 1.7 million ang ating
Households, Mr. Chair.
households. No? Wala ba dito yan? Yung unelectrified? Tama ba yan? Tama yun, di ba? Oo. Ito?
Nasa DOE yan. Actually, nasa niya.
Nasa briefer ba? Nasa my presentation.
Asan na yung roadmap ng 5-year? Andiyan ba sa'yo?
Okay. Ang gusto ko malaman, based on your estimates and your new programs, how much will it take to electrify this 1.7 million household? Based on your estimates,
We started at 69 billion last 2023. I believe it's only at 61 billion. 61 billion, Mr. Chair.
Ito yung aming estimates. This is based on your data, NEA data, na ang natitira is 1.7. So to electrify the 1.7, we need 61 billion.
61 billion, Mr. Chair.
And this is a combination of solar rooftops,
That's right, Mr.
city
Chair.
electrification.
Sitio electrification, barangay line enhancement program, and the PVM, which is the solar home system.
Alright, sige. Medyo malayo pa tayo. And then 61 billion yan, medyo mabigat yun. I have to admit, we have to program that. Okay. I'll go to an item, Administrator, in your budget. This is, we read in a COA report, meron pang 1.2 billion have remained to be unliquidated 1 to 5 years. And then on the same report, there have about 470 million subsidies that were released to 14 delinquent ECs, contrary to the special provision, GAA special provision, that subsidies can only be released to ECs that have fully liquidated. This is in the COA report that we, and these are the ECs.
Unfortunately, Mr. Chair, these are mostly in the BARM areas.
Mostly in the BARM. Yeah, nakita namin in the BARM.
Magelco, Siaselco, Lasureco, Tawelco, and Baselco.
Ito yung mga unliquidated, itong 1.2.
That's right, Mr. Chair.
Oo. I'm sure matatagal na ito.
Medyo matagal na, Mr. Chair.
Matatagal na ito. Oo. But ang concerning, admin, to be honest about it, itong 479 na nag-release ng subsidies to 14 delinquent ECs contrary to the special provision. Can you explain that? Meron tayo.
Out of the 479, Mr. Chair, 208,487 were already liquidated. So there exists a balance only of 270 million that are still pending liquidation.
Ang punto dito, Administrator, how come we released, the special provision is very clear. Kung may delinquent ka, hindi ka pwedeng mag-release ng subsidies. Because again, it creates this bad precedent as well as bad habit of not liquidating. We're rewarding bad habits. So ito yung mga ECs na may delinquent. Again, this is from a COA report. No? So pinadala lang sa amin.
Actually, Mr. Chair, based on the record I have with me right now, most of which are calamity grants. These are emergency and resiliency fund. That's why in the special provision request we had is to allow the grant of the release of calamity resiliency funds to cooperatives because Case in point, like what happened in Masbate right now. Imagine if they will be disqualified to receive Emergency Resiliency and Calamity Fund because of some pending liquidation of a Sitio Electrification project. And we will be going into the tune of 300, 400 million because the whole distribution backbone has to be restored. I mean, we will be punishing the residents of the province just because of some mismanagement practices of the management of the co-op. And I believe, as administrator, I mean, it will just be fair and right that the release of the Calamity and Resiliency Fund be treated on an emergency nature rather than as just a subsidy by itself.
We will consider that. We will study that. But it seems to me that logical naman siya dahil di naman nila kasalanan ng calamity. So, and they need help. So we can release calamity loans. But yung mga hindi naman tinamaan ng calamity, pero nakapag-release kayo ng loans, meron bang ganyan? And then granted na tinamaan sila ng calamity, but the special provision is very strict na kung delinquent ka, huwag ka munang kumuha ng loans hanggang maayos mo yung iyong delinquency. No? That's the special provision that we included. No? So it's a direct violation of the special provision. No? Unless you have a legal basis that can defend your actions.
Mr. Chair, I don't think there was a one-time release on this. It was a series of releases.
Prior to this special provision or after the special provision?
During calamity situations, because most of them are, as per our record, these are all calamity funds. Odette, actually Odette. I mean, I wasn't still there. Mostly Odette ito, Mr. Chair, yung tumama sa Visayas and Mindanao na matindi. I mean, the cooperatives really needed help during that time. I mean, from Cebu to Bohol to Camiguin, I think, no? To Camiguin, I think, medyo matinding inabot nila ron. Actually, as per our records, these are all Typhoon Odette calamity funds involved. 90% of it.
Let's put our house in order. Again, we support the concept of helping calamity-stricken ECs. Di naman nila kasalanan, tinamaan sila, and they need to rebuild. And by helping the ECs, we're helping the people there. No? But let's be strict about the special provisions kasi these are laws. And we don't want a situation wherein laws are violated. If you think that we need to amend the special provision, we're very open to that.
Yeah, it's part of the wish list that
we will support your proposal. But in the absence of that, let's be mindful that these special provisions are aimed to create a orderly implementation of
noted,
the budget.
sir.
Yeah.
Noted, Mr. Chair. Actually, we are still enforcing, and we are still requiring them to submit liquidation documents to put this and settle this pending liquidation issues. Now.
Kasi these are base sa COA report, it's na-release 2024. So these are just kalambang Odette. Di ba Odette is Odette yata is 2020. When is Typhoon Odette? Not 2024.
Third tranche na yun, 2024, sir. Mr. Chair.
So marami siyang tranches.
Yes, it's a series of tranches yan, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Normally 3 tranches.
Was the special provision there na? I'm checking, but baka mas alam nyo pa.
I think the special provision only happened last year. But
Oo nga.
before that, we were allowed, NEA was allowed to release in tranches pending certificate of final inspection of sitio electrification projects.
Okay. I'm checking when this special provision came about. But definitely this special provision came about 2024.
Yeah.
No, and there were releases 2024, no. So may violation siya. Even though in tranches, the argument might be in tranches, but then again, we're not looking at tranches, we're looking at the releases.
So meron ng special provision. Mr. Chair, I would put things in order in NEA about this.
Okay, yeah, just be mindful of
Yeah,
that, no.
thank you,
like
Mr.
I said, Administrator, if you think that we need to amend this, we need to
Yes, please, Mr. Chair.
tweak it. We're very open to that. We want to make sure that that NEA is responsive to the
Yeah.
needs of our
We have to,
constituents, no?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, but wag tayo mag-violate ng special provision kundi magulo eh.
Yeah.
So I want to put
I'll be mindful of that, Mr. Chair. I'll make sure that things will be in order as far as liquidation is concerned. On emergency and resiliency funds.
a better way is taasan yung e-surf eh. Kasi yung e-surf is really meant to, yung Electric Cooperatives Resiliency Fund.
Actually,
Kasi that's-
Mr. Chair, 200 million lang,
Oo nga,
tapos
maliit.
subject to reimbursement, subject to replenishment. And just like right now, Typhoon Opong and the typhoon before that, there is a pending SRF application already. Yung 200 million may pending application na on 3 other cooperatives at 80 million. So I'm left with 120 million na lang. But the ongoing Masbate cost of calamity restoration is already at almost at 400 million. So when I saw the administrator of the Office of Civil Defense in Bugosibu, I was really talking to him, Mr. Chair, and asking him, sana mabigyan mo ako ng speedy replenishment kasi ang lalaki ng mga replenishment at stake dito sa mga tinamaan.
E-surf pwede ma-replenish yan, no?
Yeah, nare-replenish naman, sir.
Pero but you compete with the other agencies. Eh?
That's true.
They get
That's
it
true.
from the NDRMC
Yeah,
fund.
Office of Civil Defense.
Oo. But typically, magkano naggagastos for Kasi yung e-surf is grant siya. Ang yung binibigay nyo na sa mga ECs, loan siya.
No.
Diba?
Mr. Chair, those are grants
Grant
too.
rin.
Grants
Grant
too.
rin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ang nasa GAA is 200 million subject for replenishment. So it all depends on what kind of level of damage is suffered by a co-op. Minsan, just like in Masbate, 2 replenishments are needed to cover the materials used, and we are Masbate only loaned all these steel poles, conductors, and distribution transformers from the regional procurement hub for them to be able to restore immediately. That's why they were able to restore the backbone in less than 20 days. And now, in less than 30 days, they will be able to restore the whole province.
The ones you gave for Typhoon Odette, is that grant or loan?
Grant yun,
Grant
Mr.
rin
Chair.
siya.
Yes.
Grant rin siya.
Grant yan.
Okay. Alright. Sige. How much do you need for e-surf in 1 year? Typically? More or less yan.
I would say if we can increase it to 500, hindi na kami mabibigla. Hindi na kami mabibigla. Because depende, Mr. Chair. I mean, pag medyo tinamaan ng sobrang serious, kahit yung 500, malalapnos mauubos. But definitely, yun naman, hindi naman namin kailangan ibigay kagad in tranches namin binibigay. So pinakikiusapan lang ng, ang mahirapan lang doon, yung mga nagpautang na suppliers na nagbigay ng mga materyales. Napapakiusapan naman sila.
But ang concept kasi niyan, quick response.
That's right. That's
para
right,
yung
Mr. Chair.
EC makabalik ka agad. Tuwing may bagyo naman, ang EC tinatamaan din eh. No? In fact, sila yung one of the casualties, mga EC, bagsak
First
yung
casualties Well,
bagsak yung
frontliner
mga-
sila, Mr. Chair.
Bagsak yung mga poste, bagsak yung mga wiring. So, the first thing that the residents want, mabalik yung kuryente. Pero
That's
hindi
true.
naman nila mabalik yung kuryente kung walang pang-repair.
But with the present program, Mr. Chair of NEA, we established a regional procurement hub in every region. So there was a timely response, a quick response, because all major items like the steel poles, the conductors, and distribution transformers were delivered to Masbate in a span of 2 to 3 days.
Mr. Chair, kasi I do support the increase of their quick response fund kasi dapat kasi nauuna talaga yung electricity doon eh. Otherwise, the hospitals won't go. All the relief operations, hindi makakagalaw kung wala. Kaya dapat ready na sila to go the day after ng calamity. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We'll work on that. Pag umiikot rin ako pag after the calamity, talagang yan request ng tao. Kailan babalik ang kuryente? Pero maraming bagsak kasing mga poste. So,
That's true, Mr.
and the
Chair.
co-ops nakatali yung kanilang working capital. So it's a way to help the co-ops without passing on the cost to the consumers.
Just to emphasize the point, like Masbate, even the evacuation centers, the control command center, and even cash, Mr. Chair, walang cash doon dahil walang electricity. So it was difficult for them to really start the operations at that time. So kaya nagpapanik din kami pag nadidelay ang mga tao na tutulong from the other co-ops.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. We Senator JV who has also questions to the energy sector.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nice to see you still here. I came from the Coast Guard anniversary with the President. Kaya umalis muna ako. Pagbalik ko, dito pa rin kayo. So, nice to see all of you again. Anyway, just siguro, no, I asked this question to the Secretary when she, during her confirmation, just like to get the DOE's position. Of course, yung EPIRA. No? I asked if we can get yung inyo pong suggestions. Which provisions, I'm sure that most of you will agree already by this time that we really need to amend the EPIRA law. Now, we just passed in 2001 with very good intention to lower down the cost of electricity by encouraging competition, by privatizing Napocor power plants, transmission lines, distribution system. Ang nangyari po, natuloy yung Napocor power plants privatization, privatization of the transmission lines. Ang di lang natuloy, pagbaba ng presyo. Di ba? Lahat ng privatization natuloy. Pero yung inaasahan natin na competition supposedly to lower down the cost of electricity, hindi po nangyari. So, which particular provisions would you think that you would propose to this committee so that we can already start the ball rolling and amend the IPIRA law, which again, has not really served well its intended purpose. Sige, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a draft of the possible amendments. The first, there are several parts in the IPIRA, and it divides it per sector of the industry. Now, so first, my priority was the PSALM extension, which is done already, and second would be the ERC strengthening, not per se in the reorganization of ERC, but streamlining their processes and also giving it teeth. Kasi like the question by the chairman earlier, what are the penalties that have been given to NGCP, for example, for any violations and the delay? So they are limited as to, I think, only 5 million pesos per violation. So we're trying to increase that, and also in addition to the increases in the penalties, not only monetary but also in the number of imprisonment. Also, that any penalties that are collected from any of the violations of the power players will be considered by ERC to be as possible refund to our consumers. But the part on ERC, Mr. Chair, I would rather have ERC expound on that kasi sila yung main concern dyan eh. But
Sige po,
yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, she was
Okay, go.
ERC chairperson after secretary. Sige po.
And
Tapusin lang ni Sec.
Yes, sir. So before ERC, I'll just go through the major changes on the generation side. Ano yung generation side changes? And we want more accountability on the part of the generation on their performance. For example, if the contract says you have to deliver 10 megawatts, and some unfortunately there are some generation companies that only deliver half of that, there is no substantial penalty or accountability. So gusto namin i-strengthen yan. Transmission, separation of the... Ang NGCP kasi ngayon, isa lang yan eh. Transmission, sila yung nagpapatayo, tapos sila nag-ooperate. We want it separated. And then on the distribution, hindi ko na maalala. Ano yung distribution natin? There's also more provisions on distribution. I don't want to go to all of that, but we can submit it to the chairman and also to Senator Ejercito. All the provisions that we have, we are proposing, we can submit it in portions or as a whole, Mr. Chair. Pero ready na po kami if we want to submit with for you to sponsor, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I will be willing. I'm sure our chair would likewise be willing, as the former chair of the Committee on Energy. No, anything that would really bring down the cost of electricity, because I think siguro sa ASEAN, no, we are losing to our foreign direct investors because of two things: poor infrastructure and high cost of electricity. So if we can really do something about this at the soonest possible time, then we will have a better chance against our ASEAN neighbors.
Mr. Chair, one proposal of Senator Marcoleta is to remove the VAT. It can also be incorporated in the IPIRA, although it is a more controversial topic. It might be more prudent kung separate bill siya. But it can also be an option. We can also incorporate it in the proposal, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Sige, si RC Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just for the record, we were able to impose penalties on NGCP for its delayed CAPEX. There were around 34 CAPEX projects that got delayed. So we were able to impose 15.8 million. But as the Secretary has stated, there may be already a need to
In a span of how
update.
many years po yan, Chairman?
It was a one time. There were the two cases. One time, and it involved 34 projects. But as the Secretary has stated, there may already be a need to update the fines and penalties that may be imposed pursuant to EPIRA under Section 46. Then we of course support the pending bills in Congress for ERC strengthening. We have gone through the different versions of the bill. In particular, for ERC's strengthening, we support fully the proposals for at least a partial use of the income or the excess revenues collected out of the imposition of regulatory fees, and as well as the creation of that consumer advocate. That is also a feature of several of the bills that we were able to study. I believe that with consumer representation, there would be a better discussion of the issues that are presented before the Commission, and so we can come out with better decisions.
Thank you for that. I'll take advantage. The Secretary mentioned NGCP and Chairman also, Chairman Juan, no? Meron po in question kasi dito, galing sa media natin. Take advantage ko na, Mr. Chair. Gandang tanghali, boss. Baka pwede pong ma-update sa DOE NAPOCOR, pwede rin NAPOCOR, dito naman si Chairman Jericho, is the DOE still considering taking back the operations of the country's sole grid system, NGCP? Thanks, boss. For security, for issues of national security.
Mr. Chair, I do agree that there has to be a certain degree of control of the government, not just for national security though. What happened was we gave a franchise for the entire grid system, and if you really read through the concession agreement and the franchise, the government has no powers over, very limited authority. For example, kung
So what I remember also, I was conferring with our chairman. DOE one time, if I remember it right, tried to go and inspect, and you were not even allowed by NGCP. And yung Transco,
papaalam mo na kami.
Nagpaalam pa sa
Yes,
sarili nating
Mr. Chair.
parang may mali di ba?
So,
And ang concern lang natin doon, of course, with, if everything was normal, especially with the precarious situation in the West Philippine Sea, we know for a fact that big share is owned by the State Grid Corporation of China. Yun ang worry namin dito no? Na with one flick of a switch, baka pwede tayo maparalyze Sana yun yung those are the things that hopefully will not happen, no?
Mr. Chair, I would like to expound on that. For example, NGCP's budget per year is about, I can't remember na the earnings would be about 20 billion a year, and that's less the cost of capital outlay that they do, no? Which means it's a huge budget per year to construct all this infrastructure. This is not from my research, but based on our hearings in the House of Representatives. And most of the construction that is done are actually by non-Filipino construction firms, meaning the money that is being paid by our consumers so that NGCP can fund this construction are being used for materials and people from outside, Mr. Chair. So in that sense, you're correct that there is no security and the money does not go back to the economy of the Philippines. So that's one danger there also, and that was expounded on during the hearing in the House of Representatives, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. So we'll just wait. And anyway, we'll be willing to sponsor amendments to the APIRA law. sad to say, no, sabi, naalala ko, 2000, that was 2001, just 6 months after the assumption of the GMA administration. Talagang pinasbreak eh, di ba? Mura pa noon ng ano, 500, tagi-isang envelope lang. Di ba? Para lang maipasa ito. Ay, nako. Tapos buong buhay nating pinagdudusahan, no? Yung 500,000 para mabigay yung ano. Ewan ko, totoo yun. 'Di ba? Parang buong buhay natin pinagdurusahan, 'di ba? So hopefully we can make amendments and at least correct a wrong that was done before.
Mr. Chair, it can also be done through a review or amendment of the franchise of NGCP. It can be done through EPIRA or maybe more effectively through the franchise. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Senator JB, before we move to another topic, because this is a very important issue, but I was surprised to hear from Secretary na hindi pa done deal yung Maharlika deal because what I was thinking is yung gobyerno, okay, na privatize na ito, pumunta na sa kamay ng private sector, 40% nasa State Grid of China. But our way to have eyes and ears is to buy out the local partner or the local entity, no? And which I support and which I think it's important. Kung wala man tayong, kung nagkakaproblema man lang tayo dito sa whether pinapapasok ang DOE o hindi, but kung may ownership ng Republic of the Philippines, wala silang choice kundi papasok talaga tayo doon dahil tayo na may-ari noon eh. Pero I was surprised to hear na that's not a done deal yet.
It's not, as per our conversations with MIC, Mr. Chair, wala pa yung, how do you call it, the contract itself. There was a letter of irrevocable letter of intent or
I thought we were celebrating na mababa yung nakuha natin. 'Di ba? Nakatipid pa tayo, ano? Napakagaling ng Maharlika team dahil nakatipid tayo, nakakuha tayo ng discount. Pero wala pa pala.
We are supposed to get
Parang nabudol yata tayo eh, no? Hindi, but I'm just saying hindi naman it's beyond the bayad eh. It's really, sabi nga ni Senator JB, it's for national security purpose. That purchase, I am not looking at making money out of it. Eh. I'm looking at securing the country. No? So that's the whole point. But I was surprised na wala pa palang ganun. No?
So far, we have not gotten any official communication regarding that we have 2 new members of the board. There's supposed to be 12 and an additional 2 to accommodate Maharlika. So as concessionaires, they should inform Transco for the very least, Mr. Chair, of any changes. But we'll send them official inquiry also,
and
Mr.
also
Chair.
some updates because DOE should be in the loop with this transaction because again, no, it's a national security concern, it's an energy security concern, so dapat in the loop ang DOE. So
Yes, Mr.
just
Chair.
update us with the real situation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair, Mr. Chair. Likewise, sayang yun, no? Because I think it will be a very wise investment for Maharlika. Kasi ano to eh, tuloy-tuloy to eh. This will be a cash cow instead of putting it in investments that are not, that have no certainty. At least this, tingin ko walang talo rito and we'll hit 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll have a very good investment for Maharlika. At the same time, yun nga, yung binabagit ni Chairman din, binabagit natin, yung issue of national security. I'll move on to another topic. Yung one of the things that I was really happy during the SONA PBM, nung nabanggit niya na magkakaroon tayo ng 200 bagong power plants. No? Siguro, if just ilan po ba sa halos 200 power plants itong baseload plants, ilan ang renewables, siguro yung breakdown lang kung talagang 200 nga. Siguro kung renewable, marami siguro talaga ito. So, can you give us yung update on this?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The President mentioned I think it's 195 power plants. May renewable tsaka yung non-renewable. Totaling to about 11 gigawatts, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chair. For that task, we have created a special task force for 200 power plants, headed by Undersecretary Fontebella and Undersecretary Marasigan. If you allow, Mr. Chair, Yusek Mario can explain further. Thank you.
Yes, Yusek Mario. So, for the record, ilan po yung base load rito, power plants? Because I'm more particular, Chair, Mr. Chair, doon po sa base load kasi I think this is what we really need. Okay, we support renewables, but whether we like it or not, still intermittent. Iba yung base load which we will need to power our needs in the next coming decades. Sige, Yusek Mario.
Thank you, Honorable Senator JB. Actually, what we are monitoring is about 196 projects and also battery and storage systems. Then for the coal facilities that we are envisioning in the next 3 years, that would be equivalent to 970 megawatts. For the natural gas, we are eyeing for 440 megawatts. And then the rest would be in the form of renewable energies. The largest contribution would be on solar and wind. So
mga ilan po yung total sa renewables na megawatts that you estimate po?
Ang estimates po natin sa renewables would be around 7,000 megawatts.
That's good news, no? Hopefully it will be online. Ilan ba talaga yung ano natin? Do you have an estimate of the power generation, the power needs that we will have in the next 10 years, 5 to 10 years? Kahit ano lang, rough estimate.
We can provide with you the actual data, which is in the form of our power outlook.
Sige pa. For our better appreciation, we'll know.
Thank you very much po.
So, of those, Yusek Mario probably can answer. Ilan naman dito ang committed, ongoing, or indicative pa lamang?
Lahat po yung binanggit kong projects na 196 are committed projects. So we are closely monitoring not only the administrative side of it, coordinating with concerned agencies that are involved in permitting and licensing, but also the actual, yung physical construction po minomonitor natin.
And according to DOE, am I correct, by 2040, we magdadagdag tayo na higit kumulang 46,000 megawatts. Yan po ang target
Yun po
natin.
ang target natin for renewables.
So, gaano kalaking bahagi ng gap na ito ang masasaklaw ng kasalukuyang pipeline?
Yung po, yeah. Kung ang nasa pipeline po natin ng renewables, it will be in the tune of 20,000. But our ultimate target by 2050, just for offshore solar alone, is in the tune of 19,000 megawatts. So yun po yung ultimate target natin, particularly on the clean energy scenario. But if we want to push through with more renewables, that could even be larger in terms of offshore solar wind, which is in the tune of 50 gigawatts or 50,000 megawatts. It's a challenge. We have to put up the infrastructures, but ano naman po, we're pursuing all those challenges. Thank you.
Yung po sa Yusek Mario, about sa base load, alam naman natin we're still heavily dependent on coal. If I remember it right sa yung presentation, nasa 40% pa rin. So of the base load power plants that you intend or yung pong planong itayo ngayon, ano pong karamihan doon? Still coal, LNG?
Well, basically po, thank you very much for the question, Honorable Senator JV. Basically, the base load capacities that we are looking at remains to be the coal thermal facilities that are not covered by the coal moratorium. But our intention for renewable energy in complement with natural gas and pump storage hydro is to make the intermittents base loads. So makikita po natin yung first project natin ng solar with battery. This is the biggest solar facility that we will have, the Terra Solar, while it is at the tune of 3.6 gigawatt in terms of installed capacity, to make it base load with a battery, it will only generate at 850 megawatts. So that means po mag-operate siya 24 hours. If that scheme can be developed further, then we are looking at renewables also turning into baseload capacities. Notwithstanding that geothermal and some other storage hydros can already serve as baseload facilities. Also, our initiatives for nuclear will provide us additional baseload capacity. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Yusik Mari. I think yung low-hanging fruit natin, yung geothermal, yan na marami tayo eh. Also LNG, kaya lang medyo very expensive to build, no? Nabanggit niyo na rin po yung nuclear power. Secretary Garin earlier mentioned that with the assumption of the Marcos administration, na-renew yung yung interest on nuclear energy. And what's good about it, before ang nuclear power kasi na-demonize masyado no? Because of the BNPP. For so many years, nobody would dare touch nuclear issue with the 10-foot pole. Walang politiko na magsasalita tungkol dito. And I think I had the chance to visit Bataan Nuclear Power Plant when I was a first-term senator. Sabi nila ako daw yung isa sa mga unang tumapak doon, no, na senador, dahil nga siguro takot sa repercussions because it was really demonized. But the nice thing about it, I think people now have an open mind about nuclear energy because I think most of it has been proven successful with our neighbors and in Europe, in the United States, Japan. Yun na po, with the Philippine Energy Plan of 2023, 20 to 20 targets, a phased entry of nuclear energy. In line with this, what are the programs for 2026 to integrate nuclear power into our energy mix? So, meron na ba tayo nito? Yung po mga modular na proposal, or is it really still wise to rehabilitate Bataan Nuclear Power Plant? Ano po ang plano talaga? Sec Garin.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. On nuclear, there is so much interest in the small modular reactor. That is also why there's renewed interest, because I guess people think that it's smaller, so it's safer, no? But not technically, unfortunately, also, there's still no ready commercially available SMR in the world, except for a couple of countries, no? But although given that, we are preparing as if we're going to have whether SMR or the conventional, could be 1,200 or 600 megawatts. We do have a target of 1,200 megawatts by 2032. It will depend, however, on the technology that we get. Who decides which technology? More or less, it will be the private, like any coal power plant or diesel or gas-fired power plant. Sila magde-decide ng commercial side. What we need, as on the government side, however, we just need to make sure that if ever somebody wants to build it at that pace, that fast, agencies have to be ready to accept applications. So we're gearing up.
Pero the sheer size of yung pong normal nuclear plant will take about 5 to 10 years to build. Even more.
Even more, sir. Sa UAE, their first one was 14 years. Now they're down to 4 years. So it's expensive to delay it also. Naging mahal din siya. So kailangan talaga very precise ka. Kaya we cannot rush into nuclear. We have to be ready. The agencies have to be knowledgeable. Our operators have to be knowledgeable, have to be trained. Kaya ang gusto lang namin na by next year, capacity building, we're done already. Preparations for the permitting, we should be finished already. Kaya para pa may nag-apply, we understand it can be more than 5 years, but at least they can start na, we can grant a license na within 2 years or so. Yun yung objective. Construction, we cannot control, Mr. Chair. But we're really, it's really part of our roadmap to have nuclear energy, at least a licensed one by within this term, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Nice to hear that. At least everybody's open about it. And I think there are a lot of good stories about it. Yung mga good, mga successful energy mix, no? Yung France, I think 70%, 70-30, no? Yung pong ano. So,
Sir, can I
yes.
just add lang? There's always a question of kaya ba to ng Pilipino? We've proven that already. We built Bataan Nuclear Power Plant actually and almost turned it on. So kaya back then, if kaya natin yun, I mean, even more so.
kaya. Tsaka mga nag-welding ng Bataan Nuclear Power Plant are female.
Yes, sir.
Kasi maganang kamay. Tama.
And
Oh,
even
kaya.
and in fact, UAE is building 4 in a row, di ba? Most of them, the construction is done by Filipinos there. So the ability is there. We just need to make sure that everything's in place. Kaya we're confident that we can build one just very safe, secure, and with safeguards lang. Sir.
Yes, and we I agree that we have to be very careful about it kasi nuclear, we have to be very, yung una, safety is of top utmost priority. Ang ano lang, siguro kasi yung cost, no? Siguro hindi alam ng ating mga kababayan, yung cost of yung generating power ng nuclear is really parang 180 pesos lang, no? Compared to the other power sources of energy, nasa 6 pesos. I don't know, Yusek Mario, tama ba yun? Nasa 2 pesos lang ang nuclear compared to 6 pesos or coal, LNG, and others?
It's still difficult po to project because the actual delivery of the project will dictate our price.
Tsaka,
It's the infrastructure mabigat
it's
talaga
about
ron,
$10 billion a project. But you were emphasizing earlier, Chair, about the base load that we need. No, coal is cheap, but it's dirty. You have a gas, which is clean, but a little more expensive. Nuclear is cheap and clean. So it's one of the best solutions for base loads, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. That's why I'm really pushing for it. It's clean and it's cheap. Yun lang, ang ano lang doon, drawback, yung the time to build, no? At least 10 years, at least. And also, what's frustrating, yung ating Bataan Nuclear Power Plant, if I may remember it right, may tiganapo ko ng mga sinauna dito. It was built in 1970s, completed in 1986. Ang twin plant niya is the Cory 1 of Seoul, South Korea. That's the very first power plant of South Korea also. And South Korea already has more than 20 power plants. And look at what it has done for them to industrialize. Talo na nga nila ang Japan. Dati po, pag sinabi mong Kia, sasakyan mo, pinagtatawa na. Pag nakasagasa daw ng bubble gum, hindi natatakbo. Di ba? Yun ang joke nun. Pero ngayon, mas mahal, mas maganda na yung mga Hyundai, Kia, di ba? Daewoo, cars, and even the television sets. Dati, Sony, Philips lang. Pero ngayon, it's LG and Samsung na. So, nuclear energy, cheap source of power, has really done so much wonders in the industrialization of countries like South Korea. Nakakalungkot kasi kasabay natin, Mr. Chair, yung Cory 1 no? Ng BNPP. Twin plant nga yan Bago nga sila tumakbo, nauna sa atin, hiniram pa yung spare parts para mapatakbo doon. Di ba? Tama ba ako? May mga taga
Mr. Chair, panahon ni Mario yan.
Joseph Mario, totoo ba? Mukhang ikaw lang ang buhay dito noon
Nandito na po ako sa energy at that time.
So, yun lang, no? Sayang yung frustration natin. What could have been na lang tayo Kung nasabayan sana natin yung Korea, we could have been much better than our ASEAN neighbors at this time. Diba? So we have one na hindi tumakbo, sa kanila nasa 20 plus na. Kasabay pa nun sa atin. No? So I'm glad that the DOE already has this position on nuclear energy and developing it better in the future. Thank you for that. Last na lang po, nabanggit kanina as the chairman of Committee on Tourism, nabanggit na rin po kanina ni Senator Pia, yung mga areas like Siargao, no, ginagawa naman ng paraan, Palawan, Bohol, Mindoro, because I go around so a lot, no, promoting tourism on my motorcycle, my personal advocacy. Yun nga lang po, talagang nakakaano pag nawawala ng energy. Siguro dagdag nyo na lang po yung Mindoro, yung mga island destinations in our and please update us from time to time so that sige pa. Sige
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, like for the tourist island areas natin, would be, I think, Palawan, Mindoro. That is being studied na for Maharlika, hopefully, or any investment, private investment or public investment to improve the distribution system within. Siargao, hoping to improve the system within also, but add a connection. We're already doing the computations for that. Basilan is also potential for tourism. There's also a study on improving the distribution lines in the backbone. And then Camotes, there is no major problem with Camotes actually. It's just the potential that it will grow bigger and bigger, and we just need to make sure that all the players there are behaving. And Sikihor, sir, we need to improve the system side. So all the tourist areas na in the Philippines are being assessed now, and we're trying to figure out together with all our agencies on where to get the funding for all these projects, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for that, Secretary Garin and the DOE family. Mr. Chair, thank you. That's all for my questions.
Mr. Chair, maybe the good senator can bring Chairman Nino for his inspection of the lines of the Philippines. Nagbabike din pala to eh.
Sama kayo bike tapos kakain ng marami. All right. Thank you for that, Senator JV, and thank you for those very important interventions. I'll go to PNOC, and I saw in your budget in kaninang na-present na 4.7 billion, these are, wala na ito, if I understand it correctly.
That's right, Mr. Chair.
Itong, can we flash, Comsec? Itong mga land development, Bataan Properties, Green Government Facilities Initiative, Bright Island Initiative, offshore wind, these are, wala na itong mga, these are not going to be pursued anymore?
That's right, Mr. Chair. We're not pursuing those projects anymore.
Instead, you're pursuing a de-risking to equity type of projects.
Yes, sir.
And then land development at PNOC. These
That's
are the
right.
two categories.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I understand that nagkaroon ng Supreme Court ruling adverse to, I saw also here in your presentation, adverse to PNOC. So can you give us an update on that ruling? And then how is it going to affect your plans of developing that Bataan property?
We already received the decision of the second MR. We filed last September 2025. And so the Supreme Court decided that there will be no more pleadings. So we're just awaiting for the writ of execution when the decision will be remanded to the regional trial court. The Bataan property is not included in Petron. So with the
This is a different property. This is the Petron refinery property.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So wala siyang connection to your projects or any of your planned endeavors. Tama ba? Is that the way? I have hindi ko alam which property is which, but the one that the Supreme Court ruled on is not part of your itong I just want clarification. Itong land development at PNOC Bataan properties. These are two different things.
Yes, that's right, sir.
Okay, all right. And then, so yung property na merong adverse ruling, yan property na yan ay kung saan nakatayo ang Petron. Tama? O iba?
The ESB port is part of the Petron case.
The ESB, yun rin, wala na rin yun.
Wala na rin, sir.
Okay. So how big is the property that was na nawala? Is that the 30 hectares?
More.
Or how big?
Actually, can I say in terms of the market value?
How come you cannot say in terms of land area? What's the difference?
Okay,
Is there any-
the Petron case would cover bulk plants, the service stations, and the refinery, around 52 hectares.
52 hectares. Okay. And then, yun ang nawala, no?
Yes, sir.
Itong land development at PNOC property, how big is this?
That's about 520 hectares.
So 520, so malaki pa pala.
That's right, sir.
All right. Sige. So I'll go to some items in your budget. Itong mga offshore wind, wala na ito.
Wala na.
You're not gonna pursue that anymore.
That's right, sir.
So itong mga de-risking projects, what are these de-risking projects?
These are renewable energy projects which we will be developing. However, we would only do those pre-development before the financial close, and then we convert our de-risk activities, the pre-development, we convert them to equity.
Okay, I understand. And what are these RE projects?
The solar, the battery, the wind, hydro, and geothermal.
Okay. Can you flash that on the screen? Ito ba yung itong de-risk to equity? So you're gonna put in, tama ba? 31 billion? Tama?
No, sir. We're only putting up about 520 million
Okay.
for a total of the 380 megawatt.
This one?
Yes, sir. That's
And
right.
capex, project capex is 31.9 billion.
But since our budget is only for 2026 520, the total project capex would be the project cost for each technology and the corresponding capacities.
Okay. So where is the investment that will be put in by PNOC?
The third to the last column, 2026, the 520 million.
Okay. Yan ang ilalagay nyo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so these are the de-risking projects. And then next year, you're going to put 350 million. And then 2028, you're going to put another 100 million.
That's right, sir.
Okay. And the risking is, the concept of the risking is risky para sa private sector in the initial phase. Tama? Papasok mo na yung gobyerno para mawala yung risk.
That's right.
Tama?
Yes.
Pag nawala yung risk, ibebenta natin sa kanila
That's right, sir.
ng mas mataas kasi wala ng risk.
Yes, sir.
Tama? Okay. What is the risk of government rooftops? What is the initial risk for government rooftops?
There are technical risks. There are regulatory risks also in the rooftop.
What's the regulatory risk?
Just to correct, the government rooftops there are not new builds. But since we have already have government rooftop projects, we intend to convert them to equity. We invite project developers convert those what we have started to equitize them. We are not putting up new built government rooftop projects, sir.
But we're going to put 50 million.
Yes, sir, 50 million.
New money into government rooftops.
No, sir. We are not putting up a new investment on government rooftop.
Okay. Those are existing. Mayroon dito 50 eh. What's that 50?
The 50 million for the PNOC de-risking budget, actually, andyan na yan, sir. Because these are not new builds. We will convert them into equity. Because we have projects that we have started but not yet operating. So we are converting them to equity.
Okay. Who owns the project?
PNOC, sir.
PNOC owns the project. Like itong government rooftops, 50 megawatts. Ang may-ari niyan is PNOC.
That's right, sir.
And then 2.5 billion ang capex na ilalagay ng PNOC.
Or nilagay na. Yes, sir.
Linagay niya na.
Oo.
Okay. And to de-risk it is you will convert 50 million into PNOC equity at close.
Yes.
But you own the project. It's 100% owned by PNOC.
Yes, sir. We plan to dispose of them, sir.
You plan to sell 50 million worth?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to understand. Hindi ko...
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Okay. So 2020, you plan to sell 20% at 50 million.
Yes, sir. 20% will be the equity. Convert that to 20% at 50 million.
Okay. And yung 2026 na 50 million, what is that? So yung 50 million doon sa PNOC de-risking, that's sales. Diba?
Yes, sir.
Yung 2026 na 50 million, that is investment.
Yes, sir.
So how can you explain to me what's the difference? In isa cash out, isa cash in. Tama?
The annual dividend column to PNOC is what we expect.
Hindi, yung 2026, the 2026. Kasi the 2026 is part of your capex for 2026, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So yan ang ilalabas ng gobyerno.
Or nalabas na, sir, nailabas na. Because we're not building. Existing na to.
But it's in 2026. Paano nalabas na?
We already have existing rooftop. Iko-convert lang namin siya
Into?
equity. We're selling this and then come up with we're selling this for private investors and then we get the dividend by at 50 million.
Okay.
Iko-convert namin.
Okay, but in 2026 is your expense eh. Diba? These are, I would assume yan 2026 will be part of your investment.
Yes,
It's in
sir.
the form of maybe MOE.
Or MO, yeah.
Tama?
MO, yes, sir.
So yung 50 million sa 2026 is MOE. To put it simply.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Tama?
Yeah.
So naglabas
Tama, sir.
tayo ng 50 million. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So, ang tanong ko ngayon, maglalabas tayo ng 50 million. The government rooftops is supposed to be, we're supposed to de-risking de-risking government rooftops by coming out with 50 million. Ang tanong ko is, anong risk sa government rooftops? What are we trying to de-risk?
For the market risk, we look for the markets for government rooftop. We do the permitting. We do the site assessment.
For government buildings?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eh di ba, what particular are we de-risking if in gobyerno is a ready market? It's actually, there's no risk. Kagaya nito, pag nagkabit kayo dito, kami naman bibili nung kuryente na kinabit nyo, so what's the risk there?
Yung presyo. We will look for the government, well, the structure itself has to be evaluated. So that's one of the technical risks. And we do the permitting. That's also a regulatory risk.
But everyone goes to regulatory approvals eh. That's part of the process eh. Yung baka geothermal naintindihan ko pa kasi pag nag-drill ka walang steam din problema 'yon. Pag nag-drill ka ng hole ng well walang steam problema 'yon. But yung government rooftops may ready market ka na. Diba? The regulatory aspect everyone goes through it, whether you're geothermal, it's part of the process eh. You factor in already the regulatory requirement. So I'm trying to understand what's the same thing with the solar. No, we're pumping in 80 million. Wind, we're also putting 250 million. But I would assume that the wind service contracts, meron na yung study. Meron na siyang study kung mahangin talaga doon o walang hangin. So, in geothermal, I admit, may risk talaga. Yan talaga rin ni-request ng mga geothermal developers. So, I'm trying to understand yung BESS, yung battery electric storage system. What's the risk there?
BSS, solar, wind, geothermal, lahat sila. We identify the risk. Number one, market. The service contract, which falls under the permitting, the grid connectivity, market risk, the off-taker. So we do this, and then we sell what we have spent as equity.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that the government can de-risk by absorbing the uncertainty.
Yes, sir.
The uncertainty. So I'm trying to understand per technology what is the uncertainty.
Common to this technology would be the grid connectivity, the resource assessment for each technology, and off-taker.
Off-taker pwede. Kung hindi mo pa alam sino bebentahan mo. Okay. But in solar, in government rooftops kasi, I would assume, ang clientele mo is the government. Kagaya pinag-usapan natin kanina ni Mario, you share on the savings, meaning consumption rin yun ng gobyerno itself. No? So that's my... I'm trying to understand this because we're spending 520 million on this project, the risking to equity. So just submit to us ano pa yung mga write up on this 520 million de-risking investment.
Yes, sir. Sige,
I'm
sir.
trying to understand anong risks ng batteries, risk ng solar, risk ng wind, government rooftop, geothermal. Oil and gas yan, mataas ang risk.
Yes.
Sigurado ako. Kaya nga, if you want the perfect de-risking project, will be oil and gas and geothermal. If you want to play that, if you want to enter into that market, yan talaga request ng mga developers eh. Government should, actually ang request nga, government should share on the risk. Not completely absorb, but share lang. Pero kung gusto ng gobyerno to absorb, that's fine. At least upfront nila mababa. Kaysa drill sila ng drill ng well, wala naman makitang oil and gas, problema rin sila. But problema rin natin, re-reimburse natin sila eh. No? Re-reimburse natin sila. So I want to just send us a write-up on that so that we will understand this concept. And
Yes,
then
I will.
itong land development in PNOC Bataan, how much are we going to invest in this project?
We budgeted about 300 million for the development. It's actually more on phased development. The original proposal to that was about a billion, but then we reduce it to phase the development.
Okay. And the land development is here, the concept here is maximize rental value. Meron ba tayong ano dito, feasibility study or here, may feasibility study ba? Like for example, how much are we going to, what is the total project cost? What is the expected rental income? Who will be the ones renting? Meron bang ganun na ano? Do we have any feasibility study on that?
The budget there of 300 million was really more on the land development. And then it is really a conservative amount because we want also to explore the potential investor as to their utilization. So if we could come up with a agreement or a proposal that they would develop it first, and then according to how they would like to use it, then it could save us. But the 300 million is we're looking at really on the development of the land, minimal. So we do not, because the area is already identified as an industrial park, as much as possible, we leave it to the investor on how they would develop the land.
I understand. I'll leave the decision making to the board of PNOC. But my what I want to understand, no, this is a business decision. If you think it will be profitable, it will yield more dividends to the Republic of the Philippines, that's fine. But what I want to understand lang is what is the overall master plan? What is the overall feasibility study? We're putting in 300 million. No, it's not a small amount. 300 million. But anong plano natin? Maglalagay tayo 300 million. Hopefully the private sector will come in to develop the rest. But we're also expecting income from the private sector, diba?
Yes,
As
sir.
lessees. So how much are those? Who are we attracting? All of these things should be looked at holistically. So,
We are already being a lot of, considerable number of investors have already talked to us.
yes, but who are they? What type? Are they? What type of investors? Are they manufacturing? Are they call centers? And then what income stream are we looking at?
They are LNG, potential LNG investors, LNG power plants. We have attracted the petrochemical, and then yeah, the expansion of petrochemical plants. We have the LNG to power investors. Um, yes, sir. So I think those are the profile of our um, potential investors, sir.
Okay, and then you also have maintenance, industrial port operations and clean energy center, 390 million. Meron pang ganon? Tama ba? That's part of the 1.9 million proposal. 1.9 billion pala proposal. There are three items here. 300 million for land development, 520 for de-risking, and then 390 for the industrial park, port operation and energy center. What is this?
Total of?
228 lang yung for industrial park, ASB and head office na maintenance.
Okay. Just a small correction, sir. That's only 228,390,000 covers rehab of the industrial park,
Maintenance is
maintenance of the ESB.
Yeah, I stand corrected. 200,
Yes, sir.
228, 390 pala. Million.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is that?
That falls under the other capital outlay.
But what is it for?
of industrial park.
The maintenance of the industrial park,
62 million.
62 million. Rehab and maintenance of the ESB at 45, and the energy center and other PNOC properties 66. Purchase of various ICT equipment 41,
Transfer equipment.
and transport equipment at 11.9.
But I understand wala na yung ESB, di ba? That's already, that project has been canceled already. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina that we invested 88 million for the ESB, pero eventually kinancel.
Oh, you can answer.
Tama, nag-invest tayo 88 million. Kasi yung unang proposal nyo
800 million, sir.
So 800 million pala, nagkamali pa ako. 800 million
Yes, sir.
ang investment.
Supposedly, sir.
Supposedly, pero hindi siya.
Hindi, magkano yung actual na lagay? Nagastos yan.
Wala, sir. Wala. That was not utilized.
Oh, at least walang na-utilize.
Yeah.
No? But yun ang nagiging nagiging issue rin na can you give that ito. Yeah. Here, I 117 million for energy supply base ESB.
Yes,
And
sir.
then 88 million for offshore wind port.
It was not it was
Hindi na
not
nagamit yung
utilized.
88. Yung 177,
For the regular maintenance.
Maintenance lang, sir.
so everyday nagme-maintain tayo. Tama?
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
If I may.
Sige, go ahead, ma'am. Sige, kayo na
Yeah.
sumagot
If
para
I may
we put this.
Yes po.
Oo.
The 107, yung 100 plus million na utilization.
Identify yourself first. Para
Yeah, I'm
on
Miss
record.
Jennifer Racho, the Treasury Manager of PNOC.
Sige, okay.
Yes, the 100 plus million utilization for the energy supply base that basically consists of the payment of kasi the asset sa ESB was previously owned by EC, the PNOC EC. So binayaran po namin in 2024. That is why may ganong kalaking utilization po. But basically, ang pinakano lang doon, sir, is maintenance of the
Yes.
the pier ng ESB ng mga assets doon. Wala pong about o sweep na disbursements.
So maintenance lang ito, talagang
Yes po.
physical maintenance. No?
Yes, of the
How much
pier.
is the physical maintenance?
For 2026, sir, we are requesting of about 45 million na budget
For
for
2026?
2026.
Okay.
Just to maintain the facility, sir.
Itong 177,
Bulk of that's almost 116 million was paid to EC.
So in terms
Yeah, for
of...
the payment of the facility.
Okay. And then itong ESB, is it generating revenue?
Yes, for berthing and the pure operation.
How much a year ang revenue niya?
On an average of 120 million revenue.
120 million revenue.
Yes.
Okay. Ano ang net income niya?
Ang net niya mga around 80.
80 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Pero gumagastos tayo ng 45 to maintain.
That's only a proposal budget, pero usually naman po hindi siya talaga 100% na-utilize.
Okay. Magkano ang maintenance? I guess yung 40 kasi 120 minus
May
40 is 80, 'di ba?
Mga ganun.
Mga ganyan, di ba?
Opo.
Okay.
Pero kasama na yung mga employee cost doon. So,
Oo, yeah. Kasi lahat na 'yon.
Yes,
Oo, lahat na. Okay. So, ganito na lang kasi you have 3 items. Submit to us yung feasibility study ng land development. In land development, parte yan ng ESB? O iba yan?
No,
Totally
that's
iba?
in
That's a new project?
yeah, in the Bataan Industrial Park
Oh,
po
that's a
yan.
brand new project?
Yes.
Okay. Submit to us a feasibility ng land development of Bataan kasi we're investing 300. Yung de-risking to equity, a feasibility, also a description, and also itong ESB kasi para malaman rin namin kung ano yung income stream ng ESB. At ang importante dito, the point I'm trying to make, Christina, is, and I've said this many times, alam siguro ni finance officer yan, na itong mga investment na ito, kahit na corporate budget ninyo, these are still public funds.
Yes,
No?
of course.
So we need to be accountable to the public.
Of course.
No? And make sure that all the investments yield to results, especially corporate entity kayo eh. No?
Yes po.
That's why sinasabi ko in the past kasi nag-invest sila sa ano ba yung invest? Meron pang off-grid yung may mga iba-iba, may merong off-grid electrification, kaya daming mga projects na it's not connected to one another. So, and sayang yung pera, no?
Yes.
Na-notice ko kasi PNOC is just doing projects for the sake of doing projects. No? Para lang may magawa. No? Yun ang na-notice ko eh. Kaya ano-anong project na yung ginagawa eh. And I said this many times. So magandang pag-usapan yung mabuti.
Yes.
Kung ano ba talaga ang direction gustong tahakin ng PNOC.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just give us a few days and we'll recalibrate the proposal because, for example, talking to PNOC Mother and also NPC, there could be a collaboration between these two because basically the mandate of PNOC is energy security, and it has to be something that will in line with that. And one way is to do some work together with NPC on whether it's electrification or hybridization of islands, for example, Mr. Chair, or even with the other works that other agencies that we have. So we'll just do as DOE being the chair of the PNOC, we'll talk again and then we'll submit to you as soon as possible.
And I think the president is new also, if I'm not mistaken. No? So it's good to get yourselves together and craft a roadmap. Where do you want to go? Again, meron kayong board. I leave the business decision to you. I leave the direction to you. But sa amin naman, we're just looking at when we invest, ano bang return. No? And when we invest, siguradong bang merong benefit to our constituents. No? Kahit na GOCC or corporate yan, it's the same money. No? That's Republic of the Philippines money yan eh.
We'll do and we'll submit probably within a week, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. For RC, I believe that meron na yatang, I think what I heard you earlier that you are now entering into a
Yes, sir, for
decommissioning.
Yes, deactivation, sir.
Sorry, deactivation.
Yes, sir. We're just waiting for the memorandum circular from the GGC, and we'll be uh, on the situation of transition, sir.
Okay, all right. And but I also saw in your budget meron pa kayong 55 million request for a solar project. Sorry, 44 million request. Mayroon pang allocation of 44 million for a solar rooftop project.
No more, sir. No more.
Wala na ito.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We have no more projects, sir, for the year 2025 because, and 2026 because we are on the process of the activation, sir.
Okay, so for 2026 complete wind down na.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
that.
sir.
And then for PNOCEC, you're the partner of Malampaya. You have a 10% equity on Malampaya.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Correct. And then I want to know, kumusta na yung, kasi we extended the service contract, no? We extended the service contract in the hopes na we can find new wells. I believe that there are 3 wells, no, na we're looking at. It's the
Mr. Chair, that would be Camago, Bagong Pag-asa, and Malampaya East.
yes, Camago, Malampaya, and Bagong Pag-asa. No, so anong timetable na kikita niyo diyan in terms of actual production? Kasi excited na kami, no? Extend natin. Nakita ko pa sa news na merong dumating na yung rig na bago to drill. So we're very excited. So what timetable are we looking at?
So far, Mr. Chair, the drilling campaign has been ongoing. In fact, with regard to yung Camago well, they've reached the top of the reservoir. So right now, we're still on schedule and on budget, and we expect yung delivery po ng first gas on schedule fourth quarter of 2026. So far, yung schedule po na yun and yung target date for first gas delivery is still there, and the operator naman continues to update the consortium and the Department of Energy. And also, all updates po are given to the Department of Energy, and the Department of Energy will also always be in a position to say kung ano po yung status nung drilling campaign. But for now, it's on schedule.
And ano bang ang potential? This is purely gas, no? Wala tayong makukuhang oil dyan.
Purely gas po.
Purely gas siya,
Yes.
no? And ano ba ang potential, ano yung expected, or ano yung potential for these new wells?
Like we said po, yung initially, like the operator was reporting for Camago, for instance, they've reached the top of the reservoir, and according to them, there's positive finding for gas. The log data indicated the presence of hydrocarbons. So at least po for the Camago well, the prospects are very good. So they have proceeded to drill also the other 2 wells.
It's the based on their seismic study, what is the estimated potential of that area of the new wells, yung tatlo? And what is the expected revenue for government,
Okay. Ganito
including
po,
the 10% PNOCEC?
So Mr. Chair, the remaining, if Malampaya Phase 4 is successful, incremental Camago and Malampaya East reserves are as follows: 290 billion cubic feet of gas and 9 million barrels of condensate. So it is expected that these additional recoverable reserves will extend the life of the field until 2034.
How much is the estimated revenue ng gobyerno for the government side? O how much estimated revenue ng PNOC? Sige, in 10%, siguro alam mo naman yan kasi PNOC side yun eh. Diba? Magkano kikitain nyo, in other words? Assuming the prices remain the same now and until 2034, assumption lang naman to. Loose assumption lang.
Kasi on the average, we've actually been making...
Out of these 219 billion
yung present
cubic
well
feet.
hot, we've been making probably about a billion net annually. So here we'll probably be making just a little less, no? But close to a billion yung neto po ng PNOC EC.
A billion pesos?
Yes, that's
Or
what
dollars?
Neto ho yun.
Oo.
That's for our 10% share. That's what we've been making the
A year?
past. Yes, the
Liit
past.
lang ah.
Kasi po the past couple of
1
years
billion
naman
peso a year ang kita natin?
yung
I'm sorry,
PNOC.
ang PNOC?
Opo. So actually, neto po yun, and it's also been, because the past few years po medyo bumaba na po yung production. No? So just to be really conservative
Hindi,
about
itong new
it,
well. In new
mga
well.
ganun din ho siguro, just to be conservative about it.
So a billion a year for the 10% of PNOC EC.
Yes, Mr. That's our conservative estimate.
So kung ang gobyerno is 40%, 'di ba? So times 4. Correct?
60%.
Sorry,
po.
60% ang gobyerno times 6. So
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So 6 billion pesos a year. Tama ba? Is that the right math?
60. Oh, yes, Mr. Chair. More or less.
6 billion a year ang gobyerno for the 60%? Is that the right math?
Mr. Chair,
That's
not necessarily. It's about, I think, about 10 billion, somewhere there, Mr. Chair. It's dwindling. At a certain peak, it was about 20 billion per year.
But the new lang, itong new well, you said ang kikitain, ang bagong discovery, ang estimate is about 290 billion cubic feet ba? Cubic feet of gas. Ang 10% ng PNOC dito is 1 billion pesos a year. So kung ang gobyerno is 6 times 60%, di 6 billion pesos. Tama ba? Para lalo kami ma-excite kung magkano kikitain natin, di ba? Yun ang punto ko eh. Para may good news naman. Yun ang kasi puro flood control, puro corruption, puro nakawan. Ito, hindi nakawan to. Pera papasok sa atin to eh. So that's why I'm trying to estimate. Kung meron kayong estimate.
Mr. Chair,
Estimates lang to.
our estimate is we will maintain what we are earning now.
Okay.
Kasi babalik din siya eh. Once
Yes.
it's there, no? So, we're collecting now about 10 billion on the 60%. So, 10 billion plus 1 billion of PNOC. No, mga ganun, Mr. Chair.
10 billion pesos a year.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Parang liit ah.
Well, it won't go back to its original kasi
Because of the capacity.
capacity. Mga 50% lang siguro yung pinakamataas na nung at its high point.
All right. So then that income stream will start coming in fourth quarter of next year. More or less. No, more or less.
Technically, may konting delay lang on, there's technical things that they have. Well, it's normal for a drill, no? High risk kasi siya. But if there's a delay, it's a matter of weeks lang, mga 1 month siguro maximum.
All right.
But they're on schedule so far.
But so far, everything is on
Yes,
track.
sir. In addition to the extension, we have the 2 wells for the extension, which is Camago and Malampaya East. And then